I have to turn you down just a bit.
That's racist.
Bro, I saw someone today. That's how we're going to start out the podcast. I don't know why I thought this was funny, but did you see the clip from me fighting that Viddal and Leon Wills reacted to all those years ago? Not years ago, weeks ago. What am I talking
Fighting?
about?
You mean sparring or fighting?
No, from my fight. Remember they talked
No, I
about my
didn't.
fight. Okay. Well,
I don't think so.
I
forgot.
There was a clip. This might not even be a part of the pod, but there was a clip where they said, Wade, he looked good. He looked good. But, I think that's just because a lot of people, this is their words, not mine. A lot of people, see a black guy and get a little scared of him when they go to fight. Right? And then he's like, a lot of people think black people are tough because they're loud and, whatever. and then Viddal stopped him and goes,
Wait, Leon said that?
yeah, he's like, some people are afraid of black people.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
and honestly, sometimes you get in a fight with a dude that looks like he works at the IT shop or Best Buy's Geek Squad or what's up, bro? What's up? What are the two are you gonna be afraid of?
Yeah, I think it's just body type. That's the thing that's scary. Like,
What are you trying to say?
No, I'm saying it doesn't matter.
We're not gonna have the athlete debate again. Anyway,
I'm just saying like the build.
bro, I'm built.
Like, if you're seeing Steve Urkel, dude, if you're fighting Steve Urkel, like, listen, I know it's Steve Urkel.
But what if Steve takes the glasses off and becomes Stefan? You know what I'm saying?
No, bro. I'm saying it's the build more so.
Oh, you wanted this guy? He's all, oh, you wanted this guy? What's up, dude? What's up?
Yeah,
No,
bro,
I'm not fighting that guy.
It's the build that people are actually.
Anyway, the thing was, bro, it is, to be fair, trust. But he said that, and then Viddal goes, he goes, yeah, that's true. But them Southern men now, they get a little more excited.
No way.
How have you not seen this clip? Okay, I have to show you.
Oh my god.
I have to show you, dude. I have to show you.
Down on the race card. That's
Bro,
crazy.
I saw this, and the reason I'm bringing it up right now is I interviewed Viddal Riley today on the channel again, our boy Viddal.
Okay.
And this thing, bro, there's no way that Viddal did an interview walking around Tottenham. That's fire. Shout out to The Ring for putting that up today. By the way, shouts to The Ring anyway. We'll talk about that today. By the way, we didn't spoken about that, but this might not. Honestly, this is probably not gonna make the podcast. But I just want to show you this.
It might. I don't know.
Because this is like a long thing that we'll probably just end up cutting out. But Real and Wills. God, I can't even type. I was like Real and Leon.
That's something I would do.
Real Leon. All right, here we go. Honest thoughts.
But I mean,
wait, I don't see this. I don't see it.
Yeah.
I got you. Hold on. So this is Viddal and Leon reacting here. Let me switch this. Reacting to my fight or my fight build-up.
Man, I'm gonna punch you in your face, man.
Wait, I don't see it.
You don't see it? It's running.
A little bit too much.
Stream failed to start. Hold on. Close stream. Oh, okay.
You got this one? You good?
Now I got it.
All right.
You're talking a little.
Oh, they were saying that I was talking a little too much beforehand.
I just knew he wasn't about nothing.
Blood.
Who? Will be on hell.
Let me see where it starts at. Where are they talking about?
Okay.
I'm trying to figure.
If you're good, listen.
If
you're good for
Here we
business,
go.
you'll be on hella shows.
Yeah. It's true.
You'll be on hella
Like
shows.
18.
I just miss
Yeah,
Leon,
if you're
dude.
good for business,
18
you'll be
good
on
for
hella
business.
shows.
Facts.
80 is the one where you'll fight anyone, anything. He's a good person. He's a good
He
person.
is.
He'll fight anyone who'll do anything.
Yeah.
But if you generate interest and you can bring money and you can sell seats, you'll be on hella shows.
Yeah.
That's
Facts.
it.
Facts.
But yeah, him versus Idris is next. Idris will try and outprice himself like he's
As
worth
he always
something.
does.
Like he's worth
As he
something.
always does.
But yeah.
Listen, the star of the show don't wear them Pumas. I'll tell you that. Straight up.
It's just
So now
taking
we
off
move
on
to,
Idris.
Wait.
Now wait.
My man's disappointing, blood.
They're talking about
Disappointing, bro.
Listen.
Oh,
Disappointing,
Messiah.
bro.
Listen, pause it. From when? See, First things first, just the way he
disappointed.
talks and that, yeah. I just knew he wasn't about nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
He was trying to talk like he is
Leon's
about
different,
it,
so-
but we know you
The
ain't.
body language, you're not about it in that
Leon
aspect.
knows.
Then I was watching, I think, Misfits Extra. AT was speaking. I see him doing pads in the background. I thought,
That's
yeah.
when you saw, yeah. He ain't got nothing to offer.
Yeah, nothing to offer. He's got size and athleticism, but him in his mind, I'll be honest. Sometimes some black people think white people are going to be scared of them because they're a bit strong.
Because they're black.
But Wade's a southern
Okay,
boy.
okay,
You've already
okay.
seen Wade's dad, how Wade's dad moves.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And
Masculinity.
if anything, the southern man them get more motivation if you're black.
But listen,
If anything.
listen, he's built different. Like, he's raised different. Like, masculinity is-
When
It's
Viddal said, if anything, this. Oh my lord. You just had to go there.
Bro, I asked him about that today on the interview, and he was dying. He was like, I'm just saying, some of them other men,
Extra motivation is crazy.
his house. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for real.
It's so
But,
funny, bro.
I can't even lie. In the build-up, if I'm honest, the way Wade was talking, I thought, Wade, you're talking a little bit too much, yeah? You're talking a little bit too much. Just don't do too much. But because he was doing the typical American promo where, when they're just arrogant, brash.
You ain't
brash.
shit. Yeah,
That's what we are, bro. What's up? That's us, dude.
That's fight promo. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought chill, Wade. Chill a little
Confidence.
bit. But I rate it because he delivered.
Because he's in
Yeah.
preparation.
Yeah,
That's what
man.
gave him his confidence.
Only 5 weeks.
Bro, I look back at this. I was like, bro, who the hell is that? Look at
That's what you got to be, though. You get into a fight.
Bro, I was in a different mode, man. Athlete Wade is different, bro. I'm
I
you know what I'm
know.
saying?
Jay
He
Flores,
did
different.
yeah.
That's too funny. Anyway, we probably won't even start the pod with
Amazing.
that, but
That clip
folks,
should just be in there when the dog goes. What did he say again? Hold on. What did he say again? He was like,
oh,
what was
Viddal?
yeah, what did he say to start it? What did
He
say?
said, or he said, I gotta go back now.
I need that as a couple of words, dude, because it's in the look.
Wade's dad, how Wade's
If
dad
anything.
moves.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And
Masculinity.
if anything, the southern man them get more motivation if you're black.
Listen,
Leon didn't want to continue.
He kept getting Leon. Leon's real with it too, but he was like, oh, we'll just go.
If anything,
Oh,
they
man.
get more motivation.
So funny.
Oh,
I asked him
Lord.
about that today. It was hilarious. But
Amazing.
I
Okay.
don't know. Brendan, probably don't put that in. But anyway, folks, we are back to Breakdown Boys Wade Sensei.
Oos.
There he is. We are back after a week off. And I didn't have it lit up last week. But we probably should talk about this. Your boy just signed as a partner with The Ring. What are we saying here? What are we saying, dude?
Major moves, bro. Major
Bro,
moves.
you knew about this, and it was going on
Yeah.
for a couple months now. I've been
Yeah.
telling you about it, and I couldn't really speak on it. And I was like, man, I don't know. Is it going to work? Is it not? And finally, we get it done. So I'm pumped. I don't even know. I've already said it on one show, so I guess I can say it here. I'm not going to give any details yet because I don't know what I can say or can't. But I will be in London for.
Okay.
The next fight's coming up on the 26th, and I think from there I may be in New York right after.
Hey.
You know what I'm
So,
saying?
dude.
Little Fatal
East Coast.
Fury. Fatal Fury. A little bit of that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, bro. Let's go.
Come through with it. And then I got to go to Florida for Jake Paul's Most Valuable Prospect, so 3 weeks on the road, son.
Wow.
Good luck to me, right? Working out here.
Working.
But yeah, man, it's great stuff. I get to be with The Ring, but I also get to be with The Volume, a company that has signed major names like our guy, Shannon Sharp, Uncle Shay Shay,
Yes.
Cormier, Colin Cowherd obviously runs the company, and it's a good company to be in, and it's a great segue because we're going to talk about some other big names in sports today. But I just wanted to say a big thank you to the Breakdown people and to everybody that's helped me along the way. I do have a new channel banner I wanted to show you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They came through with the new channel banner. You feel me?
Man, he had to use like the fight look. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
you know what I mean? Now, I do have a little bit of a double chin here. Not the most excited about that, but I was going to change my Twitter profile picture to this picture, but I had to ask the Screets first, and the Screets came back resoundingly. So I said, new profile pic or nah, pack it up, old man. Do I even scroll down, dude? Like, do I even...
What did he say?
I said, well, first off, Showbiz it was like, that's the one, my man. We're updating profile pics. Let's go. And I said, they're about to cook us. And they cooked us, bro.
Bro.
I mean, someone said wide plim.
Listen, this is what my offensive line looks like, and that's why we're going to do amazing this year.
Dude, this scares me. This is what I fear looking like in like 10 years, dude.
Yeah,
that's terrifying. Then I had this one. Okay. Wade Suave in the flesh.
That's scary.
Looks like you say the N-word and get mad when people say you can't say it.
Oh, God.
I guess that's, and then we got this.
That's crazy.
That's about to find out who Walter White is, best believe. UFC fighter look. Stop acting like insecure girl about looks. Bad enough you mentioned hairlines in every single video. Power Rangers profile. So
and the white Power Ranger, though.
Yeah, white Power Ranger. So racist and a kid. So that's crazy. No, yeah, we'll see what happens with. Could have put the Black Ranger in there. I mean, everybody liked his freaking elephant that came out. What's up, dude?
Whoa.
That's what it was. It was an elephant.
Oh, that's right.
I forgot what he called it, though. He didn't say, like, elephant, activate. I don't know what he called it, though. Walrus. What was it?
Was it an elephant or was it a rhino?
I think it was an elephant. God, I better not get this wrong.
Oh, God.
Animal. All right, here we go. It was a mastodon. That's an elephant, right?
Okay.
Or is that a bull?
We're both wrong. Are we wrong?
What's
a mastodon?
What is? We're so dumb.
Oh, God, dude.
Mastodon. It's a mastodon. Yeah, that's like an elephant, dude.
Yeah,
Come on, son.
You're
it's
right.
like a woolly mammoth. Let's go, bro.
Okay, bet.
Talk that shit. What's up? Anyway.
We definitely know he didn't say elephant.
Yeah, bro. He didn't say elephant. Mastodon. Mastodon sounds, yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah. Elephant. Activate or whatever.
Damn,
Can you imagine? Imagine the worst animals to be a Power Ranger for, dude. Mouse.
Now I'm forgetting the animals, but anyways, mastodon.
Mastodon.
How do we know that one?
The blue guy was a tiger or something. Sabertooth. Or that was maybe the yellow one. The pink one was like a crane, I think.
Crane makes sense.
By the way, the pink one I heard had a sex tape. Not saying I watched it. I'm just saying I heard she ended up having a sex tape. So, also there was like a weird depiction of like if you look at it now,
I heard, like somebody told him, even though we definitely know he saw it.
I didn't see it. I've never
digitally
seen it.
on a computer because the only way you see he read it.
No, look how old that show is. It was a physical. Not that I had it, but it was a physical VCR thing. I'm pretty sure. Anyway. Dude, there was like racial undertones they said of the show, and the creator had to be like, no, that was not done on purpose. Like the black guy was the Black Ranger and the Asian girl was the Yellow Ranger, and people were like, whoa, bro.
Yeah, we all knew. Come on,
bro. Nah, it was before racism was out in the public like that. Anyway, we need to move on from this before we get canceled. I have some videos today.
Yes.
To show you. We're going to talk about some basketball. We're going to do some playoff picks today, Sensei. And you're going to have to stand by them. No more getting away when your picks are wrong and acting like you're not doing the challenges, okay? You're not doing that anymore.
You are Mr. Not doing
challenges. False information. Then we have Skip Bayless making the YouTube rounds, dude. How the network TV icons, I wouldn't even say have fallen, have adjusted. Skip was on Jubilee. We're going to take a look at some clips there. We're going to talk some fight stuff, and then we're going to talk about some influencer fight stuff on the way out. But let's start with this. Skip Bayless. I would say television GOAT. Television sports debate GOAT, one of. He was on Jubilee, which is somewhat of a debate show, mostly centered around politics, things to do with, like, gender and sex and LGBTQIA
a lot of
stuff. Yeah, a lot of political and hyperbolic topics of today's world. But today they went sports on us, so we had to check it out. Skip took on 25 other men, not in the way you think, in a sports debate. And we have to take a look because this is Skip Bayless is you. I hope you understand. You are Skip Bayless. So yeah, that's who you are in this scene.
Careful now.
He took on, I guess, NFL and NBA questions. This was not just a Jordan versus LeBron thing, which you would expect it to be. But let's take a look at some of these and see what we think about the GOAT Skip's opinions on sports. Here we go.
Magic Johnson is the greatest Laker of all time.
How is Magic the greatest Laker of all time when he wasn't even the greatest Laker on his team? That's Kareem. Kareem was first all-time in Lakers points, first in rebounds, first in blocks, first in field goals.
Before we get into this, you know what's going to happen in this debate, right?
Yeah, bro.
This is going to be freaking today's day and age fan central debate. Not the eye test, but more of and it could have come from LeBron debate culture, but let me list off the statistics that prove what your generalization is wrong, right?
The only two people that are in that discussion are Magic and Kobe, period.
Well, he's putting on Kareem right off rip.
Listen, he's trying to say it to disqualify Magic, but Kareem was the better, you could argue, maybe in the very beginning, the better player all time. But Magic was the best player on that team.
So you're saying, before we even
Kareem
get
was
into the
later.
debate, is Magic the best Laker of all time? Before we even start the debate, because I want to see what Skip says.
I have Kobe as the greatest Laker, but I can see the argument for Magic. Those are the two guys that you would have to argue. But for me, it's Kobe.
Why Kobe over Magic?
Just the 20 years, and then like the modern NBA. Like the player, obviously Magic was big time, but it's a very slight edge I would give to Kobe. But just like
Kobe won chips in two different eras.
Yep, he won 5, just like Magic did. And they were kind of similar in the fact that they had a running man, right? Was it Kareem? Was it more Magic or Kareem early on? That was a big debate, right? But Magic only won with Kareem, and Kobe won without.
That's what I'm saying. Two different eras.
So for me,
Kobe,
and then just the carrying of the Laker team himself.
He was the Lakers. I mean, granted, Magic was the Lakers.
And also, in retrospect, when Kobe won again with Pau, it changed how you viewed the first 3.
For sure.
Right? So it does make it, in retrospect, it adds to the impact. So for me,
I'm with you. I think it's Kobe as well.
I'm not like, if someone says Magic, they're crazy. You know what I mean?
In the comments said the greatest Laker was Kwame Brown.
My God. And he had an unstoppable move in the skyhook, has one more championship because he has 6, Magic has 5, and he has 3 more MVPs.
Okay.
We haven't even got to Kobe yet.
I give you every point you made about points and about rebounds and about
I think get my dad in.
skyhooks and
exactly.
all that is sensational, but there's a missing ingredient called leadership, charisma, whatever that greatest intangible is that Magic
Skip, talk to him.
greater than anybody this side of Jordan.
Yeah, would he have?
See, this is what I'm talking about. Skip can bring you as a professional, like, sports debater. He's not just going to hit you with 6 rings, 5 rings. No, he's going to get in the fucking weeds because this is the stuff you can't account for on paper. I know Skip has a bunch of papers in front of him, but this is the stuff you can't account for on paper. When he starts bringing you charisma and he starts bringing you leadership, and then you in your mind go, uh-oh, no, I wasn't prepared for this kind of debate. Wait a second.
And he was like, and this man was there too. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. And he was there to see it full view, and he's seen all of it. Meanwhile, we were in diapers. When he was in Rikers, we was in diapers, son.
Bars.
So
he has more insight. He has more insight.
He does.
As well.
He does.
Because
Absolutely.
you're around it. You hear things.
I love this, though, because all of us wish that we could get on First Take and school Skip or get on Undisputed, and these guys are getting a chance. This is dope.
Have one rookie
without Kareem.
Without
you mean?
Kareem was averaging 33 points that series.
Well, I would like to
Before
think
he
would
got
have.
injured in
He could have
Game
gone
6.
to Utah or wherever he would have gone. I just think he would have been Rookie of the Year. But
Right.
he was the perfect fit at the perfect moment for this team. And it became a super team, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was Showtime, and they had Big Game James, obviously, and they had Byron, and they had Michael Cooper guarding the way nobody could guard on the perimeter. I give you all that. But it
What kind of
gelled
was that,
with
dude?
the new son,
dude's freaking-
S-U-N, who was Magic, right?
Right.
And he lifted them into what was 9 finals, okay?
Yep.
And he is the driving force. Kareem wasn't. Kareem was really more of a Robin, but you can make a case he was the greatest Robin of all time.
That's a run.
Okay.
I know what Skip means when he says it, but like
He does. He has a qualifier.
greatest
he
Robin
does
of all
say.
time, sure, yeah. But just saying the words like that is just kind of crazy to me. Like that was the sidekick of this whole operation.
Right, and then later in his career, I mean, this is also not Kareem had already won.
Had already won by that point, yeah, and was already MVPs. Right. Like that, he had already established himself as Kareem at that point.
So he wasn't in his prime. Clearly not.
Not at that point, no. But I just hate to call him a Robin ever is kind of crazy.
He even says it though, kind of like.
How about this? If the Lakers win the finals this year, is LeBron Robin to Luka?
No, dude, like this is the same as the Kobe
Skip
and
will
Shaq.
say that, by the way. Skip will say that.
It's 1A and 1B. Skip will say it for sure. And that's where he forces it, bro. He forces it, dude. Like Kobe and Shaq was maybe the first series was a little bit like
Batman Robin a little bit, yeah.
Like a little bit,
but that like, after that Kobe was
but even then the first series you could still argue like when the way he showed out like in the finals, it's really 1A and 1B.
The finals versus the playoffs. That first playoff run, Shaq was dominant the entire playoff run, and Kobe was good, but then became great in the finals, and then again.
It's 1A, 1B with Kobe and Shaq. Yeah, definitely.
I give you all your numbers because clearly it took LeBron playing now 22 years, but it took 21 years to break Kareem's record.
And that's the point that I was making is that at the end of the day, like unless Kareem just got unlucky because the best player of all time, LeBron James, took that scoring title from him, but he would have been able to keep that for his whole life. And then if we go to Kobe,
he slid in the
for
LeBron
example,
best player.
If I was to take your papers right there, ball them up in a trash can and shoot it, whose name would we say? We wouldn't say Magic.
No.
Who we saying? We saying Kobe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what it's about. And when we talk about like keeping that mentality, how you go through life, how you focus on what you need to do in life, nobody says, keep that magic. They say keep that Mamba mentality. That's what it's all about.
Okay, but you grew up in the Mamba mentality.
That's a great little counter to what Skip does, right? Talking about the charisma and the leadership, because it's true in this era. You looked at a guy that was always locked in. You looked at a guy that was no nonsense, that approached the game the right way, that played the game, intensely. That the league is quite frankly lost a little bit. We're asking on this podcast every week, who's that next killer mentality player that we're going to have? Some guys have it, like Steph has it with a kill you with kind of kindness. LeBron has you with, he's going to beat you in every part of the floor. We're hoping that Ant, especially now that they're playing the Lakers in an opening series in the playoffs, hopefully he has a little bit of that. But Kobe had it, man, and he was otherworldly with it,
It's a very tough argument because for me, the thing for Magic is that he was dominant early. And Kobe wasn't, in a sense, right? His rookie year.
Oh, came on the scene dominant, yeah.
Right. In the finals, his rookie year, play center, Kareem doesn't play what are we saying? And then also, Magic kind of made the Lakers. The Lakers are already big, but in terms of we're talking.
Like Skip said, he lifted them. He lifted them.
To the NBA.
Yeah, man.
With the Laker franchise. Like, the Lakers are already big within the NBA. But in terms of, making them Showtime and making the NBA popular with him and the Larry thing. So, and also he was first. So it's like Kobe continued to carry the torch of the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
But
there is something
Magic
to be said for there is
something
to be said for making the Lakers the organization they became known as. Just like we talk about with Michael. Michael
is responsible for
turned the NBA global. And everything that comes after, you have to say without Michael, they don't have, right? Same with Magic here. Without Magic, they don't have. So that's a point for Skip. Fair play.
Yeah, it's a tough argument.
Era, am I right?
Exactly. That's why I started off with Kareem first.
Okay, all right, you do, and I give you that.
Yeah.
But Magic Johnson was the greatest NBA leader ever. Magic Johnson.
Okay, Skip. All right. I would say.
What would you say? I have Kobe, but it's like.
But you look at what you said. Exactly the point about Magic being lifting the NBA and lifting the Lakers into what they became, the dynasty that they were, the namesake, the Showtime. Anytime anything happens on a fast break now, we call it Showtime.
The only reason Shaq goes to the Lakers and Kobe goes to the Lakers is because of Magic.
So it's tough because you can respect Kobe for, like you said, taking that foundation and taking that and making it into a modern era version of the dominant Lakers again. But also, man, I don't know. Magic was, like you said, and obviously, when Magic's career came to an end, how much did he still have left, if not for, the HIV and the things?
Yeah, that's the thing too. With Magic in his career, he only won with Kareem.
Yeah.
Right. Kobe won, and then obviously the
Kobe had
Olympics,
longevity, was able to prove with longevity that he was able to go back. Yeah, man.
Winning and dominant as a guard.
I mean, Magic was he wasn't the driving force, but he was a big part of the Dream Team as well.
And the impact and the level the NBA is today, like the fandom and
that's not a bad argument.
Community, Kobe is like, bro. So to me, I say Kobe, but it's close.
All right, so this is the same argument again.
Okay.
We're going to follow up with, and here comes my father to debate Skip.
The greatest Laker of all time.
I'm going to go a little off path here. I'm going to argue that the logo was the greatest Laker of all time. Okay. He only won one, but
get out of here with this.
Greatest dynasty
don't know how this is going to go.
In the history of the sport. He had to play against the greatest leader in the history of the sport, I think, Bill Russell, who would make, like Magic, everybody around him better. He coached the Lakers during the time that you're talking about Kareem getting there.
Not well, but he coached.
They actually did okay. They actually did okay. They didn't have a great team, but they did. Like, I think they got the Western Conference Finals at least once. And then he stepped aside, and when Buss wanted to hire Riley, because Magic pushed Westhead, right?
Out. Yep.
Buss tried to make them co-coaches, and West and Riley, and West right afterwards said, that's not the case. It's Riley's team.
Right. He wanted no part of that.
And he's a badass, in that way. And he put together Showtime. He put together Shaq and Kobe. He helped Memphis have a team at all.
Okay,
he
but
helped
we're
put together.
not talking about
I want to know what Skip says here. Let's see what he says.
Because the West
career.
argument.
We're talking about playing career.
Okay. If we're talking, because that was going to say, now you talk about Mr. West after his playing career, you want to talk about some of the men that had like the most, not just, and we were talking about Lakers here, but not just for the Lakers either. Man turned around and did it in Golden State too.
Yeah.
That man as an executive is the greatest probably ever.
Correct. But it's like,
but he did give back a lot to the Lakers, and you could say he's potentially responsible. Not just
Kobe
potentially.
Shaq, right?
He's responsible for Kobe and responsible for Shaq by far. Outside of the whole, we want to play where Magic played. You got to still get him there, right?
Right. But it's
but as a player, it's not close.
It doesn't make you the greatest Laker. You know what I mean? The greatest.
Are you still a Laker? Are you still a Laker if
Executive.
you are working as a coach? Are you still a Laker if you're the Lakers coach? Does that count? Like, is Phil Jackson a Laker?
In the coaching sense, you have to.
That's what I'm saying. But like, okay, how about this? Hold on. If you're Steve Kerr, and you only coach for the Warriors ever, and you retire, are you a Warrior?
You're not in the GOAT Warrior conversation. That's say for Steph Curry, and you know what I mean.
As a total though, just not, or just in general. Because we never think of coaches as like the greatest.
No, you do.
Oh, wait, hold on a second. Hold on a second.
Like Belichick,
is Bill Belichick the best? Is he the best Patriot ever?
No, dude. It's Tom
Tom.
Brady is the GOAT Patriot. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
He's the greatest coach. He's the greatest.
He's the greatest coach ever. So it's just its own song. Okay, its own qualifier.
When you say the name, you're associating that with somebody who's playing the game.
But the most important person on a team is their coach.
Yeah, he's the best coach, the best Patriot coach.
But he's on the team.
When we say Patriot, we say player, then Patriot coach.
I'm being a little facetious, but it is a weird thing to think about now.
It is. We're like Robert Kraft. Okay, he's the best because he put it all together. Like, no, he's not. He's not the GOAT Patriot.
I heard he was the best massage patient ever. Is what I heard. But I don't know.
You have to
5 stars on 5 stars
the
on
argument.
Yelp,
like, what wouldn't say Jerry Krause is the GOAT because he put together the Bulls, dude, and like signed Jordan? No, get out of here.
Hey. Jerry Krause was a dope GM, though. I don't care how many short jokes they made about that dude. They did him dirty, dog. Not only did he get Michael, Scotty, made big-time moves to get Horace at one point, and not only that, by the way, he brings in Tony Kukoc. He brings the second revitalization after Michael comes back, puts more players around them, gets the next John Paxson with Steve Kerr. he was pretty fucking good at his job, dude. As much
Dirk
shit as he
Nowitzki
gets.
or Mark Cuban, who's the greatest Maverick?
I know. I'm just saying.
Dirk Nowitzki.
Well, it's definitely not Nico Harrison. He's out of that combo, dude. But okay, yeah. So Jerry West disqualified. We don't have to see more of this. This is here we go. Michael Jordan is the GOAT.
Michael Jordan is the GOAT and laughably
Skip.
better than LeBron James.
Laughably better, he said.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, everybody wanted to jump up.
I don't think Michael Jordan's the GOAT either, though.
Oh, so we're going a different direction.
I think we're going to go in the direction of Stephen Curry. And I'm going to
Get
point
outta
out your simple.
It's
Next
over.
video. Dude.
It's over, dude. What are we doing? What are we doing?
You're making it too easy for Skip, bro.
I know. Skip, look at this guy. This guy's already like, bro. Did my hair for this shit?
Talk about recency bias.
Dude, it's It's the change the
not
game
even that
bias.
recent.
It's the change the game bias, and the way that the game is now looked at is a lot formulated by Steph.
You can argue Allen Iverson changed it just as much because the carrying and the crossover, the leniency of the way.
And there is a bit of
because of AI.
And there is a bit
code.
of wanting. There is a bit of wanting to push somebody else into the conversation, I think, as well, especially today. But let's hear him out.
I want to hear what he has to say.
In one word.
Steph Curry?
You said laughably.
Okay.
And to me, that's bigger than Michael Jordan versus LeBron James. You are simply hitting and taking a hit, a personal shot at the entire game of basketball that we are watching today. LeBron always posts on Instagram, he says, iron sharpens iron. Where was the iron sharpening iron with Michael Jordan when he was winning all of his championships? I understand that 6-0 is something that is perfect.
I'll let you respond, don't worry.
But what you can do is say, all right, it was a beautiful thing. We're going to leave it in the past because there is greatness in front of our eyes, and it's LeBron James and it's Stephen Curry. And then
So he's yapping right now, but just to address the one point, like, I don't understand that. Let's leave it in the past. If we're talking about, bro, I don't know. If we're talking about the game of basketball, we talk about it for the totality of the game. Whatever era you're talking about, they all have a place. And calling Michael the greatest, even though I may push back on that, doesn't mean that because he was in the past, we just don't acknowledge it. He says that it was essentially, he's alluding to the fact that Mike's 6-0 is a cakewalk. I don't know, that there was no iron to sharpen him. What do you say?
This, I will agree that in the Michael Jordan era, it was not the era of two guards. You had like Clyde Drexler, you had Reggie Miller late, guys who were great.
Yeah,
you
Reggie
had,
just wasn't.
And there was the guys in the
Mike
league
like
as
that.
well, but there wasn't like you're talking like
there wasn't
when you say
Tracy
the
McGrady,
greatest-
there wasn't
when you
Kobe,
say
there
the
wasn't Ray.
greatest
Yeah,
shooting guards, it's like MJ, and then it's everyone 2000s after. You know what I'm saying?
bro,
And Clyde somewhere in there, but it's all modern guys. But Michael Jordan was an inside-out basketball player. He was a low post guard. Okay, he was the best post player in his era, by the way, with a lot of great bigs, even as a two guard. And he was an above the rim player. He was not an outside shooter.
Did you say he was the best low post player in the game in his career?
Yes, in terms of post, as a post player.
Okay,
He was the
low
most dominant
post,
post
or
player.
what are we saying? Because
Post,
you're
post.
talking about
If
the
you're in the
dream
post-
down. You're talking about the dream down there. Let's be careful.
Talking about in the post, he was the most. Now I'm not saying against other big men, but against two in terms
Like,
of
in his
dominant
position,
post
sure.
players. Yes, just in terms of as a post player.
Because you're dominating other two guards, is what you're saying. Like, you're not
Right.
sticking Mike down there
most
with.
of all of his points were in the post. Most
Okay.
of his points.
It's fine.
So that's what that was the thing that was different. Like as MJ was, that's the other thing we'll talk about. Him as a post player, there wasn't two guards who were posting other guards up.
Gotcha.
So and then a lot of the footwork that Hakeem got and all this stuff was people that modeled their game as a post, as a finesse player, was off of MJ as well. So, but that's besides the point. What I'm saying is, this freaking guy. What did he just say?
He said that iron sharpens iron, and we didn't necessarily see that with Mike.
Yes, I was saying I wanted to acknowledge that there weren't a lot of two guards. I don't know if he's making that argument. However, this was the greatest big man era when a two guard was dominating.
Stupid.
Where he was dominating and scoring all of his points from like 15 in, brother. So when they had a dominant interior defense, no space league, and the guy was averaging more points than anyone has ever averaged, the iron was the big men, not
buddy.
the freaking other two guards. So I don't know what. I just don't know if that's his argument, but it's bad.
we get into LeBron versus Steph, and I'm going to sit here and say, Steph Curry, if he wins a fifth championship, which he will, which is why I'm saying Steph's the GOAT, if he wins that fifth title, he is the greatest of all time.
Do you realize that
What?
Steph Curry and company had a 3-1 lead on LeBron without there's no Kevin Durant involved here, right? It's just Steph. So I think you would agree that was Steph's team, right?
It was
there's
a tough
Clay and there's
performance.
Draymond, and we get all that, but it's Steph Curry or bust to me. Okay.
Draymond
You-
Green.
No,
you-
no,
you've got-
Skip's about to
he's
cook
gone.
him here.
He's gone. So you don't
Why?
have
Because
okay,
LeBron
but
made him gone.
If Steph is the GOAT,
They're talking about the Draymond Game 5 suspension that I guess in his mind Game 5 goes the other way if Draymond's there, that we don't have to worry about Game 6, Game 7, but then you have to make the argument that you do have to worry about Game 6, Game 7, and you had 2 more shots at it.
Yeah.
And Bron
But Steph
and
was not godlike. And, he
and
needed
Steph
to be.
was not, Steph didn't the year before even win the Finals MVP. That was the man that we would take if the aliens were pointing the beam at Earth, son. Give me Andre
crazy.
Iguodala. He wins the MVP for essentially guarding LeBron,
It was
who-
and also Steph has
who
gotten,
should have won
you
it,
know,
by the way.
knocked
As a-
for has been knocked for not being clutch.
Yeah. In the Finals, it's
And you're
been
the best shooter ever. Like
Yeah,
you,
dude.
you need for you to be the GOAT, you have to be like lockdown defense as a point
Yeah.
guard.
Yeah,
Greatest
bro.
shooter ever. You have to be the most clutch shots ever.
Yeah.
You have to also like win. There's no
Yeah.
way.
he's got 2 out of 3 at home to close the deal. All he's
Cook.
got to do is win 1 of 3, and 2 out of the 3 are at Oracle.
Yep.
And he can't pull it off because he's not that guy. He's
Yes.
not the GOAT. And what happened in Game 7 at Oracle? Remember LeBron's chase down block? Remember this?
Yep,
And
my
Kyrie
heart
hits
sank.
Kyrie
Understand.
hits the game-winning shot.
My heart's sake, he
In
said.
the fourth quarter of that game, Steph Curry went 1 of
Yeah,
6.
be careful now. Skip.
1 of 4 from
Skip,
3.
hey, Skip, hey. Skip has this man on strings.
He said
He
went-
does
he's
not
skipping it.
forget.
He's like,
This
he
is
went
why
1 of
he's the
6.
GOAT, bro. Jeez. This man's like, damn, dude, just give it up. Put the flag up.
5 from 3,
pulled out-
and he had a
oh my-
terrible turnover with 2 minutes left where he tried to throw it behind his back
Oh
through
my-
the 5th row.
Oh,
Oh,
Turning point in that game. And without Steph
gotta see this
disappearing in the
dude's
fourth
face.
quarter, LeBron and Kyrie cannot do what they ended up doing. And after they blew the 3-1 lead, what happened on July the 4th that summer?
look at the guys holding the flag.
Steph Curry led a contingent in a private plane, and they fly all the way across the country.
July
to
4th,
tip
they had
of
the
Long
date.
Island to visit Kevin Durant. And Steph Curry got down on one knee and said, "You've got to come save us." Okay,
I understand
so
that.
you're disqualified.
Jeez.
You love Tom Brady. His best years are ahead of him, and I'm predicting that right
Really?
now.
Okay.
Yes, 1,000%.
Well,
I think
I
the
mean-
next 5 years of Stephen Curry are going to be his best.
Oh,
5
I
years.
see. Okay.
We don't know that. I'll bet against that because
Yeah.
he's 7 years of age. Michael Jordan.
Understood.
7 years of age.
This man said he threw it into the 5th row, then went and got on the knee for Kevin Durant.
He said, got in a plane from San Francisco to the tip of Long Island, and then it went, bro, he was like so specific.
I love
Then
it,
went
dude.
to Kevin Durant's freaking villa, got down on one knee.
Jeez,
Magic
dude.
Johnson.
Oh, man.
Fire. Okay, yeah. Okay, here we go. We got a football one now as well. This is Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes is dramatically overrated.
Ooh, is dramatically overrated.
see,
This
why-
is why I say he's you. This is why, because he's taking it a little far, but he
Yeah.
shares your opinions on a lot of stuff, bud. You and Skip are the same dude, I'm telling you. All right, let's see what these fools have to say, because I disagree, but here we go.
Sorry, boys. Give me 30
The
seconds.
Eagles guy?
And give me how he's overrated with those parameters, because I can't go off just that.
I only need 2 seconds.
Okay.
Tom Brady.
Okay. So the same. So,
Oh, it's
so
on-
the same guy.
Over.
So the same
Over.
guy in the 2010 wild card at home in Gillette, the house Brady built, got
That's it, dude. Hit the
Got 2
fucking
words.
horn, dude.
Tom Brady, baby.
Oh, my God.
okay.
Tom Brady.
Okay. So the same.
Someone said
the-
go.
So the same guy.
Over.
So the same
Over.
guy in the 2010 wild card at home in Gillette, the house Brady built, got blown out by Joe Flacco, 33-14.
Facts.
He
Our
threw
GOAT
in
Flacco.
Skip's terms, a grand total of 152 yards and 3 interceptions, and got
doing
punked by Joe Flacco. That guy
No, the guy
That was good,
who
good
went to
numbers.
10
Yeah.
Super Bowls and won 7.
got outplayed
And
by Eli Manning and twice.
And Bill Belichick
True.
cost him 2 Super
He
Bowls.
also won him 3.
Okay.
Tom Brady has never won a Super Bowl.
We were
without a
winning in
top
both
10
of those,
defense.
though. He's take it easy on Tom. We were winning. Our defense failed. Eli went crazy.
Said he also won him 3, though. Dang, talk about that Patriot defense early when Tom was, I mean, he was still leading drives to win games, though, let's be honest.
He was, dude. Playing his job
Period,
perfectly.
End of conversation. Pro Football Reference, look it up.
Okay. So, but this is about Patrick Mahomes, and I think you're ducking and dodging the issue.
What are you talking about?
You got to defend his Super Bowl
If
performances.
you want me to say, okay,
because
Super
I don't
Bowl
think you
performances,
can.
how can you bomb a wild card game at home in Gillette and then say, oh, you made the most important game of the year and didn't play your best? This is bizarre to me. It will never make sense. No,
You know
real fast. Let me make this
right?
real fast. Greatest stadium in the world, 142.2 decibels, baby.
You remember the 2018 AFC Championship game
where Patrick
at
never
Arrowhead?
touched the ball, and the Chiefs wanted the rules changed. They didn't do it, but they did it for the Buffalo Bills.
Do you remember what Tom Brady did in your house? Did 3 times in a row. He faced third and 10. 3 3rd and 10s in a row.
You're right.
And he goes, Edelman, Gronk, ball game.
The same way.
He's the GOAT, dude. I swear he's the GOAT. This is where Skip gets it back. Where the Fox thing, he may have lost it with the Shannon and letting him go to first take. This is where he gets it back. Do this every week. Do it every fucking week, dude. Because I need it in my life. He is giving you not only the boilerplate, or the boilerpoint things, the whole oh, Tom's better because of 7-10 Super Bowls. He's giving you what happened when he was at your place. 3rd and 10, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 10. Edelman, Gronk, ball game. Dude, his memory is crazy. I mean, he's probably got it in front of him, but still, what?
Patrick Mahomes in Super Bowl 58, down 3 points in overtime, 2 4th downs, a 2nd and 14 because Marquez Valdez-Scantling forgot which way the end zone was and ran backwards.
This guy's bringing it too, though.
This guy's good. This guy's good.
And he hit who in the end zone? McCole Hardman for a touchdown.
He did.
Back-to-back.
I like that. I like the who because it shows you he don't have, but he has Travis Kelce and some other big names that have played there. But we'll keep going.
Let me ask you this.
One and only great Super Bowl.
It was unbelievable.
Only.
All-time clutch. Also about this, since 2001, there has been 125 NFL playoff drives where the score was 7 points.
Giving it to him. Hold on.
Overtime. The rate of success of that is 40%.
Okay.
Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr., as you
That's
like to
my
put
guy.
it,
Yep.
went 5 for 11 in that situation, which is 46%. That's pretty dang good. That's not bad. Okay. Patrick Mahomes went 7 for 7. What do you think of that one, Skip? Tell me. Come on, buddy.
Okay,
Shout out Shannon Sharp.
Let's get to the facts here.
Shout out Shannon Sharp. He's just getting everything off his chest, ain't he? Damn.
For real.
He's shouting out his number one op. What the fuck?
Do it.
Shout out Shannon Sharp. At the end. It's a good stat to bring, though. It's a good stat.
Good for this guy, though, right now.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's get to his
All-time
first Super
clutch.
Bowl against Jimmy Garoppolo. Really? Okay.
Damn, just strays, dude. Jimmy just catches
One liner, just, and then that's all you take.
Really?
Against Jimmy? Okay.
That was 2010.
Late third quarter, and he throws a horrendous interception where I'm saying, what are you doing, man? Then early fourth quarter, you're still down 20-10, and he throws an even worse interception.
He did.
And you're sitting somewhere, I guess, at home, and you're saying, Patrick, what are you doing? Patrick Mahomes.
I mean, he didn't talk.
We're
Now-
talking in segments here. This was a longer debate, obviously, but
Yeah, but they didn't even. I mean, we didn't get to the point where he said where he's overrated. They're just going over stats.
these are
I actually wanted to hear.
yeah.
He just said Tom Brady, and then they went and ran out.
I think because this guy brought Tom into it real quick.
I
guess Skip
I
did,
do
to be fair.
agree, though. I do agree that Mahomes is overrated, in the sense that, in his career, when he is rushed,
Things break down really quickly.
He holds the ball, right? And he tries to extend plays too much, right? Doesn't get rid of the ball quickly. And in the quick game, notoriously his technique has been pretty poor. He's thrown balls into the dirt. You know what I'm saying? He'll overstep, and even in the Super Bowl, this last one, his technique was a bit off because everything got sped up.
Yeah.
So I think even the Super Bowl against Tampa, I thought okay, yes, he didn't have a lot of protection, but he didn't have a lot of answers. His answer is just play make and go outside the X's and O's. And I think he's the best ever at doing that. Right? You got him, Cam Newton, Lamar, Aaron, those guys who can just kind of when the play is not there,
The breakdown,
can make magic happen. And he's the best at making magic happen. But vice versa, Tom Brady is the best at making the X's and O's work and not needing to make magic because he can get it figured out. And I feel like when Mahomes isn't fast enough to break the pocket and is trying to escape and is like, how he's seeing Ghost. I already saw that in him before the Super Bowl. He's just gotten away with it, I think, because he's such a good playmaker. He's able to make plays and make great comebacks because he's just a gunslinger and he's like his confidence is crazy. He's like Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre had a kid. So it's like Aaron doesn't throw interceptions, but Favre is like a gunslinger. So like Pat is like super good with the ball when he's crazy loose, when he plays crazy. But when it comes down to like progressions and X's and O's and adjustments and those type of things and preparing and not having someone like Andy Reid, who's like arguably one of the greatest offensive play callers, that's where I think he's a little overrated. I want to see him do it in other ways.
Let's listen to another fan that tries to argue on behalf of Patrick.
Patrick Mahomes is dramatically overrated.
Which is crazy to say, by the way.
Call him overrated just because
Brady
played it a lot longer time ago. I would love to have seen. Yeah, like I said, that one Super Bowl that he played, that Brady played against him, he was still recovering from the head. Like I said, he was throwing balls. He was throwing balls. He was throwing balls to his receivers, hitting them in the helmets and stuff like that, and they weren't catching the ball.
It was 31-9.
It was 31-9, but there was two touchdowns.
And,
what was that one defense? They called the flag on it because of what's his face. That was
to your point about all those.
My man, you gotta if you're gonna bring him up, you gotta have it. You can't just say what was the one thing about the one flag and they called him for the whatever, and then he was recovering from head. I'm like, what are we doing? Dude, recovering from head's crazy, bro.
And Skip's like honestly like being nice. I feel like he's like okay, I'm gonna be nice to these guys.
Yeah, I don't. The other guy had better arguments. This guy's struggling.
All those AFC championship games, you realize that he lucked into playing into the worst division in football over his 7 years. Because if I look at the Raiders over those 7 years, they have the 6th worst record. The Broncos 8th worst record.
Oh my God, we can talk about this. I mean, let's talk about the what was that pass against Oakland? We won't go back to that far either with Brady.
This is what I'm talking about. What? I
was going to say
he's talking about the freaking Tuck rule is what he's saying.
Oh, okay. But I was going to say also the
luck thing. I guess he's saying the Tuck rule gave you your first one.
But the weaker division that we were.
It's a big point.
Our division was pretty. Tom did benefit from that for sure.
For sure, it's a big point that no one's coming back on Skip with. Is what I was going to say. Like,
yeah.
If the Dolphins were your biggest rival for a long time,
this guy's trying to get.
He's like, oh, don't let me go back to the one thing with the. Come on, buddy.
And he shouldn't have even won that game.
The Tuck rule. Yeah.
Yeah, the Tuck rule. Oh, yeah.
I'll give you that.
But I mean, ultimately, Patrick Mahomes.
He is being nice.
A 5-star
I said he's like, okay,
he's
probably
the best quarterback in this league right now. And I will go as far as to say is that he won that first Super Bowl for Kansas City because I know Andy Reid still trying to figure out what play to call, and he took over the offense 100%, started to call the plays, and actually was the one that drove the team down. They didn't.
Why'd they do like a fat guy impression of Andy Reid? What was that about? I know Andy Reid. Oh, still trying to call the plays. What is that, dog? Andy Reid has been far more beneficial for Patrick Mahomes than any other head coach I think in the league would have been for him. Yeah, bro. So I don't know what that is.
Use Andy's plays. That he was the one calling the plays in that last.
He didn't use Andy's plays.
Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback right now. I'll take Joe Burrow over Patrick Mahomes.
Now listen, I love Joe Burrow.
In the pocket, I would say there's a couple of guys you could say, like for what you describe Patrick as, like I think Patrick's the greatest quarterback in today's game. But
yeah, for sure.
I think what Skip is trying to allude to is what you've tried to allude to a little bit, but you have to put in qualifiers if you're going to do that. Like Joe Burrow is maybe a better mechanical quarterback, is probably can make more throws as far as without being on the run, without being in scramble drill, in the pocket, timing throws, things across the hash, things down the field. There's times where Patrick, he's got a great arm, but down the field has a ball sail a bit. Like Joe can make every throw in the game. You talked about Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre and how they were combined to be Patrick Mahomes. Aaron Rodgers can make every throw in the game. He's never been the best quarterback in the NFL when Tom Brady was playing alongside him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing I look at for that. So,
yeah.
He's great. The problem is that he's in part of an organization that doesn't like to play defense, so he's never going to win like that. I watched Joe Burrow's first game against the Eagles where he got sacked 8 times and was able to get up all that time.
Did Joe Burrow not beat Patrick Mahomes in an AFC Championship game
True.
at Arrowhead? He did
Stuck
do
him.
that.
The last guy before the Eagles to beat him in the playoffs.
Yep.
Went to the Super Bowl and then unfortunately lost to the Rams. But still, big time performance.
Twice.
He did do that one time. But he also hasn't been able to get back there, has he? So Joe Burrows hasn't been that great. So that he's been able to get his team beyond everything.
Joey Burrows hasn't been that great.
I love it.
Has he?
I love that we do have just the normal fan guy because there was a lot of analytics guys.
That's fun. Yeah, that's fun.
You know, and he came in, fair play to the guy. He was like, just bro talk. I'm talking like I would out of the family cookout about football. You know what I'm saying? I love
what was that last yeah.
Yeah. Well, what about when he went in Oakland with the thing and the whatever? You know what I'm talking about. And you just put it together. You're like, oh, you mean the tuck rule. Got you.
Skip's like, okay, let me,
I love that though. That's fine.
I'll give you that. Like,
and he even brought it up. He's like, oh yeah, the tuck. Yeah, the tuck rule. You know what I'm talking about. All right, last one is Skip going back to the Jordan debate.
Michael Jordan is the GOAT and laughably better than LeBron James.
Your top 10 NBA players of all time is you've got people like Larry Bird in there.
I do.
You've got Shaq in there.
I do.
Did you know those two guys, within the last 3 to 5 years, have deferred to LeBron and called LeBron the GOAT?
I'm not sure Larry Bird has.
Larry said that? That would be insane if Larry came across the, you know what I'm saying? If Larry crossed the line.
Did Shaq also say that?
You'd have to disavow, I think, if Larry crossed the line, dude. If Larry came over and said LeBron's a GOAT after calling Michael Jordan Black
Larry
Jesus.
Is pretty like, yeah, I know. Larry is pretty like I would say like positive about the modern era. He's one of the guys that really defends the modern
different.
era.
That's different from saying LeBron is the greatest of his era than going, yeah, LeBron's the greatest player ever.
Yeah.
After the things he said about Michael, that might make if Larry says it, that might make LeBron the greatest ever. Because how many people have hinged what Larry said early in Mike's career on like a big part of their Mike GOAT debate was what the players said about him. And Larry was one of the first guys that's like, yeah, that's Jesus playing basketball.
It doesn't take away from the fact that he still said it back then when he played him, though.
Nah, sometimes you see something later in life that you couldn't anticipate. Your opinion at one time can change.
Did Shaq even say it?
I don't know if Shaq said it, but that's crazy.
This guy just started off with arguments
on
that
TV will
verbatim. Larry Bird said, LeBron is one of, if not the greatest ever. Okay. You have him at, I think, at number 7.
It's a qualifier.
9, actually.
If Shaq is deferred to LeBron, it's
Skip says he has LeBron James at number 9 ever.
I hate this because I skip.
Because now you invalidate the whole thing.
Too far.
Yeah, bro. Because then it just makes it like easy pickings, dude. To be like, what? Skip's crazy, and then you just disqualify everything good Skip said because he puts LeBron.
Someone's like 9. LeBron's the GOAT, and you're like, and then he's like, you want to know why? He's a better shooter than Steph Curry. It's like, bro.
You hit him. He's the greatest scorer ever, which you can make a very antiquated argument for because LeBron has scored the most points ever, or you could point to him being number 7 on the all-time threes list and go, look, he's a great three-point shooter. He's gonna be a top 5 three-point shooter. When in reality is he's almost doubled outside of maybe Steph, everybody else on that list in that kind of range as far as taking three-pointers. So,
right,
Skip number 9, dude. Come on, rage.
Said he's the greatest ever. That would at least make him 3. He deferred to that. He gave him 3. So. The word laughably is really crazy to me.
What I call you LeBron supporters, you're fanatic about it. You're blind witness because you're blind to what happens. You expunge his record. You scrub his record. You don't want to hear all the negatives, and they just pile up. I call them epic fails.
Would you call Jordan getting swept in the first round 3 times an epic failure?
Nope, because they weren't epic, because they weren't magnitude games, because these are in the finals. I'm going to the finals.
This is where you can, I think, trip Skip up a bit, is when you highlight LeBron's failures and the biggest moments, but low light Michael's because he didn't get there. And granted,
yeah, but
they're different situations completely. But if you're gonna make the whole "this is the bright lights, you're there" argument, and yes, LeBron at the time of the 2010 finals should have won that final. 2010, it should have won.
I told you about this. I told you about this when it came to Tom Brady. I said post career, the longer he's out, the more information you're gonna find out. That's only gonna even qualify him more that he's the GOAT. Not the opposite way. People aren't going to be blind. It's not going to be like
Blind witnesses.
Like, no. And the thing is, with MJ, and this debate at a surface when it comes to, MJ lost early, and and LeBron lost as well. But then when you look into the detail of the losses, if you look at the teams that MJ was on, and then you also looked at his performance, like one of those that he got swept, he averaged 43 points.
Individual performances were crazy.
A game. Then the other one, he was a rookie when he averaged 28 points a game as a rookie. And he was one-on-one versus who? Arguably the greatest team ever, which is like the 85-86 Celtics. So we're talking about teams who won. It wasn't like he lost the first round versus like, you know what I mean? So some of those performances were against big teams.
All-time great teams.
Then you can go to where like, okay, well, LeBron, like he was up 2-1 against the Warriors, even though they were hurt. When he was the best guy on the floor, he was in his prime. You know what I mean? He had the other, no one on
It's
the
interesting
other
you go to
team
that
can
one
match
before
him.
the Dallas one, or you just accept that Dallas just is.
Oh, that one too, and Dallas, obviously. But there's another one that you can argue. Then there's other performances that where you can kind of like nitpick where it's like the Spurs went early, but you're gonna give them the.
I would
like,
nitpick
the
you
Spurs one
if I were
early.
you. I would the Spurs one early. I don't think you can nitpick that one's like, bro.
No, not that one. I'm talking about
but the
later
late Spurs one. That's the one you can.
That's what I'm
point to
saying.
and be
I'm
like,
saying the one that you give him is the KD ones. The one that you give LeBron is the early Spurs one.
But you
Like,
have to. The ones that you can't give him way more than the ones you do give him.
Right,
sure.
and you can't be like, well, look, MJ, but MJ lost early.
Do you give any
against-
credence to the fact that the first round series were only 5 games back then?
Yeah, it was like a 3. Was it a 3-game sweep?
Best
Was
of
it?
3.
Yeah, it's
I'm just
obviously
saying.
harder to get one.
Well, harder to get one, but also potentially easier to close series out as well. Like, not that it really mattered. LeBron's been an all-time great first series guy, but I'm saying, does that have anything to play? I've always wondered if anybody really considers that, like, the fact that modern era games, if you compare, it's hard to compare because the first round is a 7-game series now, and Michael played the majority of his career in a 5-game first-round series. Could that have made him fresher for later on? I don't know if it matters.
Yeah,
but
partially, but he played like
it doesn't
his
really
minutes
matter.
average,
like LeBron's
you know what I mean?
been an all-time great first-round player. He's not like he's spending 7 games in the first round.
It's harder to win, like if you're, let's say, a new team, because let's say, like, okay, since it's only 5 games, you're like you don't want to give a game.
Yeah, you give a game up and that's GG almost.
Like nowadays, it's like, okay, you can like
you can give away 2 games.
Yeah, so it's like, we got to get these guys out of here. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit different. I feel like.
It took Ray Allen making the greatest clutch shot I have ever witnessed. Because remember, it's a LeBrick.
It was a big shot from
LeBrick. And it's
a LeBrick. He said
tracks it down and kicks
To
it
call
in the
someone
corner.
LeBrick while having the most points ever is wild. Now, I know you're a Jordan guy. It pained me to say that Jordan's been swept 3 times in the first round because I'm a Jordan guy too. But to laughably say that LeBron and Jordan aren't even in the same conversation, that's wild. It's a discredit to basketball.
I know you watched
it's
this.
insane.
How about the Western Conference Finals just 2 years ago against Denver, okay? So the
Ooh,
Lakers
I
wind
like
up
this.
being swept, but 4 straight times they go to the fourth quarter right there.
Close.
It's a winnable
Close
game
series.
for LeBron and company. First 2 are in Denver, second 2 at home. If you combine his shooting stats for the 4 fourth quarters, he's 7 of 23. That's horrible. That's how you lose games. And he was 1 of 10 from 3 in those 4 combined fourth quarters.
My man's question is life. He's over there going, nah, bro, you can't. This is a good pivot from Skip, though, because we just focus on LeBron, Dallas finals, San Antonio potential, whatever the collapse was, the LeBrick. He's giving you modern era LeBron in something that potentially has been.
Which one are we talking about?
We're talking about this would have been the 2022.
Okay.
2020. It was 2021, 20. I don't remember, but they win that series and Denver goes on to win the NBA Finals. But this was 4 straight very close games that LA could have won. This wasn't last year, right? We're talking where Jamal Murray hit the buzzer beaters and things like. I mean, that was another close series as well, but this was a sweep.
It's hard
that
for me to
LeBron
knock LeBron this late in his career for anything, to be honest, though.
Nah, because if you're going to give him credit for winning a chip, if he does, you have to. Even if he is 40, like if you're going to give him GOAT points,
not like
you're going to have to hold him to that standard. Even if you can't hold Michael to the same one, I agree with that. But he's cooking.
Game at, as I call it, the crypt here in Los Angeles. In the final seconds of the game, LeBron gets 2 shots to tie the game, 2 two-point shots, and neither of them he gets up to the rim. And I'm like, what are you doing, man? You're better than that. And yet the blind witnesses say, oh, we didn't see that. We don't want to hear about that. So we fast forward one more year because last year,
right,
in the playoffs,
so 2022.
they get Denver again, but this time it's in the first round.
No, 2023.
And games 1 and 2 at Denver, LeBron pouts in the fourth quarter because he can be a mentally weak diva. And he won't shoot in the fourth quarter of a winnable game. I'm going, what are you doing, man? Just take over. You can do this. You can rise above Joker and Jamal. Because you think he's the GOAT. The GOAT rises above. Michael Jordan.
Woo! Those were 2 very close series that I'm surprised more people don't hold LeBron, like hold to LeBron because of his performance late in those games. But this is awesome.
Loves that LeBron's playing late.
Oh,
in his
yeah.
career.
This is giving Skip a second life, man, for sure. And fair play. He's taking advantage of it. I love this from Skip. He's been doing the rounds on podcasts and other stuff as well. This is awesome. He needs to do this every week, bro, because this is just easy content. He lives in L.A. That Jubilee's filmed in L.A. We got to try to get on one of these. How fun would that be, bro? What would you want to debate Skip on, though? Because you and him are the same person. Like, what would you really even want to debate him on? You would just be there agreeing with him. You're like in the background cheering him on. Yeah, you go. I would get my shit ate up if I tried to bring some LeBron shit in there with him. Dude, I don't want no smoke with that. Are you crazy? We should debate some boxing with Skip. That would be dope. Or like, people don't realize you have an old school knowledge of boxing that most people don't even like fathom. Your old school knowledge of boxing, I think, would do great against Skip. Like, if y'all did like a great at like GOAT debate boxing, get into it, that would be dope, I think.
Yeah, it's man.
Or you could do like a quarterback debate, like a top 10 quarterbacks debate, something like that. Or like, because if you're gonna agree on LeBron, you're gonna agree on Tom. I don't know.
It's like with him, the only thing I could argue is I would have to argue more for LeBron, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I have him 9th. Like, bro.
Yeah, 9th. Yeah, 9th would be crazy. But having you and Skip do something would be awesome, dude. That would be fire. As long as we got this clip from Skip while you were debating him with boxing, then I would be set for life. I'll be set for life. We get him saying this, then we're set.
I just busted right inside him, and he can't extend on me anymore, and he seems a little overwhelmed by my girth and tonnage.
Bro, I never heard the word tonnage in my life. That's crazy. What does that even, look up that word. What does that even mean?
Tonnage.
What does that mean?
I gotta watch it again.
I just busted right inside him, and he can't extend on me anymore, and he seems a little overwhelmed by my girth and tonnage.
And he's so dead serious, son.
What does tonnage even mean?
So serious. Tonnage is like, I mean, I assume it's a size thing. You know, I like how we Black Ranger animal.
Jesus.
Weight in tons. The size or carrying capacity of a ship. Yeah. Like the tonnage is like a ship term. All right, so
I thought. Okay.
I love that the name is I just busted right inside him.
I thought,
name of the video.
I thought he was using the word tonnage as like a derivative of the word tunnel. So I was like,
bro,
what? Girth and tunnel? Something? That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know where he was going with that, but tonnage.
Oh my god, that's too funny. All right, well, that is some of the sports talk we're gonna do. Oh, let's do this. We'll make this a separate video. We are now at NBA playoff time, nut cutting time. We just watched the Skip Bayless GOAT debate between LeBron and Michael Jordan. LeBron's Lakers are the 3 seed in the West, and we're going to make some picks for our NBA champions this year. I know where you're going to go, but I want to see how you get there. Let's do a NBA playoff bracket creator. All right. Let's go. Is this the right? Nope, that's not. There's got to be a pick 'em. There we go. my God. Is this what are we doing? This isn't sponsored, buddy. Okay. Can we just click one and then it? Okay, cool. All right. So we'll call this your bracket. All right. Let's go ahead and look at some of the teams here. Hold on. I know you ain't been super locked this year. That's impossible to look at. We'll do that. You can see that, yeah?
Yeah.
So as of tonight, let me make sure that we just wrapped up the play-in games really quickly. We don't have full knowledge, actually, because the play-in games are still yet to be determined. But,
okay.
Yeah. So I think we still have... Hold on one second. I think we still have... Yeah, bro. We still have to have the Heat play the Hawks and the Mavericks play the Grizzlies for the 8 seed games. So that's still up for grabs. Outside of that, we'll do some picks. Are you saying, though, that regardless of who wins these playing games, you're going the other way?
Yeah, I got OKC, right?
OKC takes first round in the West. How many games does it take if they play either the Mavs or the Grizzlies?
6.
Okay, see, tell you what, that Grizzlies series, though.
Yeah.
Never know. All right, then you have the 4 versus 5 in the Western Conference, the Nuggets and the Clippers. Clippers had a strong end to the season. The Nuggets fired their head coach and fired their GM on the last week of the season. Not to say that should matter, but it probably is going to.
Kawhi healthy?
Kawhi is now healthy and playing.
And Harden's healthy?
Yes. Actually, Harden's been playing really well down the stretch.
Right?
Yeah. Same with Kawhi.
I'm following my same formula, which is like the old school formula. Like if I feel like you guys can put more, whoever team can put more pressure on the rim and can get easier buckets. Some team can win by just like shooting lights out. And like Kawhi can have a great series, but I mean the thing with the freaking coaching thing is like
I don't think Kawhi
is Aaron Gordon healthy for the Nuggets?
Let me check.
And Jamal Murray, are they healthy?
Jamal Murray is the bigger question, I think. But Aaron Gordon is a big part of that team.
That 2-man game that they have with Aaron Gordon, he just gets to like everyone forgets about this guy who used to be like a low tier all-star on the Magic. Matters, bro, because that dude plays above the rim.
Norman Powell's gonna have to play well, I think. Zubac's gonna have to play well. Jesus, what just happened?
Yeah, if they, oh man.
All right, it's 3 days ago. So it looked like from a couple days ago, they were probably resting him. He's had the hamstring. I'm sure he's able to go and he's going to play.
Hamstring. What about Gordon? To me, is the bigger because obviously with Kawhi, I just feel like the guard play is going to might be better than the Clippers.
Again, been cleared to play. I don't know if we're going to see. Yeah, he's a 15-4 guy. I think they're both going to be. They're going to be playing. I don't know how that means.
I got
healthy
Nuggets
or not.
7.
I like that pick.
7.
I like that.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. The Lake Show taking on the T-Wolves, the 3-6 game.
Yeah, I got Lakers, dude. I do not believe in Anthony Edwards anymore. He's been shooting lights out.
He's been playing well.
He has been, but he's been shooting lights out, and he's a guy who's starting to fall in love with the 3, and he's been shooting well.
You think that's a deterrent coming into the playoffs because your game leaves you there and you ain't had the inside game. And
you start to fall in love with it. And if you, as a player like him, going against like the Laker team, you want to be as a dominant guard, you want to be slashing through, putting pressure on, getting the other team into foul trouble.
Yeah.
Breaking down the defense, getting other guys involved, being a playmaker, and being above the rim guy, getting to the foul line 10 to 15 times a game. That's who Anthony Edwards is, and he's going to be a spot-up shooter. If he's just coming as a shooter, I'm like, I don't know if I believe in Anthony Edwards as a 3-point shooter to take you into the playoffs with a team that doesn't have a dominant big man. Towns is gone. You have Randall, but
Randall's nice.
He's nice, but
it's a matchup. He's a matchup problem too, though.
Got to be MJ. Got to be.
It's gonna be interesting watching LeBron. I assume is the guy that you're gonna have to go. Okay, your assignment's Julius Randle. Randle's a monster on the boards, especially too. What are you saying? Lakers in?
I'm gonna say 6.
Lakers in 5. Okay, Lakers in 6. We move on. The 2-7 matchup: Rockets and Warriors. A lot of people picking the Warriors here.
Ooh,
Younger Rockets team.
The Warriors have like a struggle season, but Jimmy
played
Butler
insane the other night.
And he tends to play up in the playoffs.
And when he gets on in the playoff run, he goes 2018 LeBron levels.
He's like AI.
Remember the
like,
bubble Jimmy?
practice?
Jimmy took that Heat team to a position they should not have been in that finals and was balling. Kept them in that series. Took it to 6 games when it probably should have been a sweep from the Lake Show. And he dropped 34 in the play-in game the other night to give the Warriors the win.
The Warriors just made the Warriors. The Rockets just give me that. I don't know what year it was. The Atlanta Hawks.
The Hawks vibe, yeah. The number 1 seed Hawks vibe where they got swept by LeBron in the second round.
They had 4 All-Stars, which was
got swept.
Absolutely criminal to have Jeff Teague, Kyle Korver, Paul Millsap.
It was probably
Kyle Al Horford as your 4 All-Stars. Is crazy.
Jeff Teague played pretty well that year, but
yeah, but you're saying the reason they had 4 of them is because
it was the number 1 seed, yeah.
Like, wow, this is such a good team. We don't know how to put it, so let's just take 4 guys. Like, bro, okay.
It's like when Draymond makes All-Star games. What are we saying? Warriors and what?
At least Draymond is like a, defensive player of the year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh man,
a lot of fans picking the Warriors. I like the pick.
It makes sense. Warriors is 7.
I like that.
Got to give some respect to the 2 seed.
How about the Cavs? Best team in the East. I know that hurts your heart.
Give me Cavs.
Cavs easy here against either the Heat
5.
or. Oh wow, okay, 5. The Pacers and the Bucks. Not gonna lie, I don't know dog shit about the Pacers right now outside of Halliburton. What they got going on?
The same reason I'm picking the Cavs because they got
the X factor on the floor has got to be Giannis in this series
and the interior.
Yeah,
if I look at the Pacers and Bucks. Give me Giannis. Giannis in 6.
Knicks and Pistons. Young Pistons team shaking things up down there. Having
Knicks.
No one thought they produced at this level. Knicks in
7.
I was gonna say I think this is more of a sleeper series than people are giving it credit for. The Pistons play really good defensively. They're scrappy in the playoffs. It's kind of rewarded. So, and then your C's versus the Magic, who just won their spot in the play-in game.
Celtics.
In 6, sweep probably. Them? 6. You think it's gonna
go?
Dude,
you
never know. Yeah, Vex. Yeah.
They just love to just be like, we got this.
Yeah.
They annoy me, and they should sweep them. But because of that, they won't. They're gonna lose 2 games. Jaylen Brown's gonna. I don't know. Tatum's gonna. I don't know. It's just.
It's just gonna be harder than it needs to be.
I don't love that team.
Thunder and the Nuggets in the first Western Conference semifinal.
We have to just think that they're going to be healthy.
Let's say the Nuggets are completely healthy after a 7-game series. But you had the Thunder going 6.
Thunder,
I just don't like the way the Thunder play basketball, man.
Team. I know they're a very good defensive team, though. Got like Lou Dort.
They're long as hell.
Pause. Trouble.
But does Lou Dort cause trouble for Jokic if it comes down to?
That's the thing. If I'm following my rule and I stay true to my rule.
Yeah. But then again, you have so much chaos around the Nuggets right now, dude. This may be that year where they just implode completely and reset it. And they have good players. It's not like, they clearly, the ownership of the Nuggets thought it was a front office and coach problem because they have a great team. This team has taken them to the finals.
But I feel like Jokic is like,
watch this.
You give him a reason.
Watch this.
To play basketball.
I'm not about to go play with my horses and shit. Watch this, dude.
Yeah, dude.
And also, Jokic freaking averaged a triple-double this year, dog. Just finished the year crazy.
And I think it's on purpose. People say he doesn't care, but while everyone's saying he shouldn't be in the,
Watch
even
this.
be one of them. Like he shouldn't be one of those guys in the upper echelon.
Watch
of big
this.
centers.
Yep. Hold this, Shaq. Barbecue chicken.
Yeah. Let's go Jokic and the Nuggets.
Serbian chicken. Ooh, what are you saying? How many games?
I don't know if they can. I'm like, if it goes 7, it scares me. I said they have to do it in 6.
6. This is the series everybody wants to see.
Ooh,
The Lakers and the Warriors. Steph and LeBron one more time for one time's sake. What are you saying?
I'd take the Lakers.
Why?
I don't know. I just feel like Luka in that backcourt and Reeves and those boys. I know Steph obviously is him and Jimmy, but then LeBron is a front court player with Draymond, and Draymond is just not what he used to be.
Right.
Doesn't have the same impact. You know what I mean?
I can see Draymond getting his team in trouble in a series like this too, man.
Yeah.
I can see him getting a little feisty with the referees, getting a couple of tees, putting himself in a bad spot, maybe having a suspension, maybe getting. Yeah, I could just see something
Draymond
happening.
is younger than LeBron, right?
But he plays a lot older. Yes.
You see what I'm saying? Like it just feels like
perpetually under the rim at this point. What are you saying? Lakers in what? I can see this being a 7-game series.
Yeah, that's fine. Let's say 7.
Yeah, I can see that. Oh my God, can you imagine?
Cavs and Bucks.
Cavs and Bucks, man.
Give me the Cavs.
Okay.
Give me the Cavs in 6.
Okay. Cavs
like
playing
the
that well this year for you, huh?
Give me Boston.
Bosstown.
Boston in 5. Get those Knicks out of there.
Get them out of there. That's a great little rivalry too, man. Revisited. Okay, Western Conference Finals. The Nuggets only picked by 5% of fans to get to this point versus the Lakers, who have only been picked by 39% of fans to get to this point.
Wow.
I wonder if you would have went Warriors. Huh, interesting. So the Lakers seem like the team.
What, they got the Rockets or T-Wolves or something?
I'm looking. No. Must be the T-Wolves? No. It's the Lakers that have gotten the best have gotten the best odds so far. What'd you say in 7? I don't remember what you said. Warriors in 7. Okay. So Lakers and Nuggets. What do we say? A rematch, a trilogy rematch from the last 2 playoff cycles. Can the Lakers finally get over Joker?
I don't know.
Bro, if the Nuggets come into this thing hot and Aaron Gordon's playing well and Jamal is Jamal's making shots and Jokic is distributing the basketball and he's doing his thing inside, bro, it's going to be a nightmare. Because the things the Lakers did to pick
LeBron's
up offense
gonna have to play defense and
against Joker
in the conference finals after like tough series, and he's like 40.
It's going to be after a 7-game in your opinion.
I want him to because I want to do Lakers and Celtics, but just to say that LeBron loses again. But
that's crazy. If he beat your Celtics, I said Celtics. That's hilarious. If he beat your Celtics again, though, it'd be tough for you.
Okay. I'm gonna go Nuggets.
Okay,
I'll follow my rule.
Nuggets in
6.
Wow, LeBron's just so old they can't even push it to 7, huh?
Yeah, dude.
Luka just not making shots. Cavs and Celtics.
Give me Boston. In 7. Boston in 7. Cavs, this team, tough team, you know what I mean? We gotta give it to them.
So we're going Nuggets and Celtics in the finals, son. Joker is carrying this team, dragging them, him and Jamal Murray. And what do you say? Your Celtics battled through a tougher than usual East. Not saying they're tougher than the West because the West was clearly a better conference, but tougher than usual East to get to this point.
I'm gonna pick Joker, dude.
Joker to upset
all my rule.
the
I feel
entire
like
league.
Maybe not healthy.
Would this be the greatest? Would this be the greatest playoff series run? Would this be the greatest playoff run ever if he did this? With no head coach and no GM on the last week of the season.
That part of it as make it crazy. I wouldn't say that because of what Dirk did, dude. Dirk to me, what Dirk did is too crazy
Against that Heat team too. That whole
Dirk,
run,
like,
by the way, yeah. And Dirk was old as shit, by the way, too.
And a power forward with centers still in the league, and also other power forwards that he's going against.
Yeah, that was cold.
7.
7-game series, and you picked against your Celtics. What a terrible non-fan you are. Unbelievable. You have the Nuggets.
If I pick them,
it's bad luck, huh?
Bad luck, dude.
All right, so you have the Nuggets in a 7-game series. Let's refresh, and I'm going to pick mine. I am going to go okay. We're just clicking all this stuff here. Reset it. Okay. So, I don't think these Thunder, if Memphis makes it, get out of the first round. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Wow.
They're so young, and I watch them, and I worry about what happens if your main scorer in SGA does not get these calls he's used to getting. And I know that's a major talking point, but it's a real one. And in a playoff series where you're the first team looked at to be the next wave of Thunder, this new wave of talent, I think that they could really be in for a route. I don't think Dallas gives them any problems, but I'll say Thunder, and I'm going to say a 7-game series. Let me go with, that's not what I'm picking. I'm going to take, I still think Joker is just too consistent. I think there's just, we'll see what Zubac does. If Zubac's able to hold him, these Clippers, if they're still hot and Kawhi plays great, and all the chaos surrounding the Nuggets right now.
Yeah.
But I'm still with you. I think they get it done. They might push it.
7.
They might push it to 7, though. I think that's where this series scares me, man, because I just don't trust. I don't know. I've seen Luka be a little inconsistent since coming to the Lakers. He'll have a great game, then have a shit one. AR has been the most consistent player on this Lake Show team since the break. LeBron has been up and down. His shot hasn't come back from the groin injury, really. Like, he hasn't had a consistent week of,
the injury.
25 plus. I'm a little scared there, but I do think they have enough to get past the T-Wolves. I'm going to say they do it in 6 to try to save LeBron's old legs. What do I got here? The Rockets and Warriors. I'm also going to pick against the Rockets, man. I just think the Warriors have found a way to not replace Klay Thompson, but the other kid, the lefty they have, is making shots. I don't know his last name. It's hard to pronounce, something with a P, but he's making shots. Steph is making shots. Jimmy is playing out of his mind right now. The momentum that they have coming into this, and off of a tough game in the play-in, to be fair, I think this is going to be a battle-seasoned team. Draymond is still there as an emotional leader. I think they get it done before 7. Give me Warriors in 6. Cavs probably sweep. Let's be honest. You know what? They're a young team. Give me 5. I might go a little crazy here and pick the Pacers in the 4 spot. I don't even know why, because like I said earlier, other than Halliburton, but then again, you have playoff experience, championship experience on this side with the Bucks. Give me Bucks in 6. The Knicks and Pistons. Give me the young Pistons to choke the life out of the Knicks once again, dude. Yes. Damn, okay. Because why not? Okay. These Knicks are not good at winning clutch basketball games. They haven't been for a very long time as an organization. I think the curse still lives. Pistons in 7. Give me the Celtics. Fairly easy. 5 games over the Magic. Get them out of here. And then we're going to work backward. I think the Celtics do it in 6 against the Pistons. I'll take the Bucks over the Cavs here.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that Giannis starts playing out of his mind again, and we get another little.
He has been balling, bro. 30 and what is he? 30
I'm saying,
10,
I think he goes a little crazy here. You're going to need supporting cast. I get all that, but give me the Bucks in 7 to make this crazy. This is the series that worries me because when I watch the Lakers play the Warriors, it's a matchup nightmare watching these Warriors make shots. Yeah. I don't know that defensively the Lakers have an answer for Steph off screens, and when he gets the ball, he's a maestro. Draymond setting picks up top. You have Luka, who's somewhat of a liability defensively. Your big man doesn't make as much of a difference in Jackson Hayes to really affect Draymond at all. And if LeBron's not having a great game shooting the ball, you're in some real trouble. If LeBron plays like he did at the end of the season, worries me, man.
I was even thinking too, if you run your offense through Jimmy as well, because Jimmy is different than Klay because he's an interior
and he's a fucking bucket from the freaking elbow, dude. He is a bucket, son. This worries me a lot, man. I don't want to pick the Warriors, and I'm not gonna. But I'm going to say it takes a 7-game hard series out of this. And I think Luka, honestly, is the difference offensively. I think LeBron does take the backseat thing here. And Luka goes full Dallas last year in the playoffs mode and goes stupid in some of these games. 40-plus, I'm saying, in some of these games. And that's what it's going to take. Dude, I hate putting myself in the same position you were in, but I just don't see the Thunder beating the Nuggets. Even without a head coach, I don't see it. Unless, again, maybe SGA goes stupid. You know what I mean? But I just don't see what answer you have for the big man. He's playing out of his mind, and like you said, with a statement to make, give me them in 7. I'll take the Lakers over the Nuggets. I think this is the final. This is the year. Even if you don't have an answer for Joker, I think that the Nuggets don't have an answer for the 3-headed monster. If Luke is playing out of his mind, which I'm assuming he is coming into this series, there's really no stop for him. There wasn't a stop last year either for him at this time in the playoffs. Granted, you had Kyrie cooking as well, but it was mainly Luka doing his thing, son. And I think if LeBron does take a backseat and becomes potentially more of a slashing 2 or not a slashing 2, but a slashing wing, and you give him a little bit more of a defensive responsibility, how does that affect Joker? They have matched him up in single games. It hasn't been a series, but in single games, he's played well defensively against Joker in pockets, and I think that's helped him out a little bit. But late into the run, it's going to take everything. So we're talking about a 6, a 7, a 7 leading into this playoff final. I'll take the Celtics in 6 here. You know what? No, I'll give it a little tougher there. And this is why, if we get here, it's got to be the Celtics. Because you put LeBron on a 6-7-7 at 40 without a major miracle, and maybe LeBron is just LeBron and is able to do it. Now, you know what? Fuck this. I'm delusional. Give me my GOAT in 6 to take out these Celtics, dude. If he does it, he's the GOAT, and I don't want to hear anything about it. I'll take the Lakers in 6, son. And listen, this is a fan poll, but they do have 29% of the fans, which would be the largest percentage of fans picking the Lakers to win this final over the 26% of your Celtics.
I'm afraid to say I'm about to say, but I'm like, if LeBron wins,
he's the GOAT, bro. If he wins with a substantial amount of production.
Right.
Like if Luka goes stupid and averages 40 in every playoff series, it's like, all right, bro, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which he did last year in Dallas, you know, but
right,
if LeBron, if it's like a two-headed monster of LeBron going 28 a game and Luka with like 29, 30, 31, even if LeBron don't win the Finals MVP, I'm going, bruh.
Yeah, because they know he really has done something that
Mike never 40, could. Yeah.
Like 40 is crazy.
Imagine he does win the MVP. You know? All right, that's what I think. Lakers in 6 over your Celtics.
The returning champs, you know what I mean?
That would be a huge win. But listen, we have no idea. It'll probably end up being somehow the Thunder and the Celtics, or the Thunder and the Cavs. If it's the Thunder and the Cavs, dude, you want to talk about the worst playoff ratings ever? Bro, no one's watching that finals. I'm just saying.
It's like Panthers and Bears or something.
Yeah, bro. That's freaking Texans and fucking
Panthers. That's what it is.
Panthers, yeah. Panthers and Saints out of the same division somehow, flipping conferences and playing each other in the Super Bowl, dog. That's what it is. Panthers and fucking Falcons. All right, there's our basketball talk, man. We just have a couple more things. The pod has been long today, but for good reason. We have some dope segments. Let's talk about, really quickly, what's going on in the old college football. Something that you're not well versed in, no offense, but you do have a little bit of knowledge in. What is happening right now? We'll try to make this part of the pod short. College football has become the wild, wild west, son. In other words, there are no salary caps. And in an era of NIL, which is name, image, and likeness, money flowing through the sport, there are no salary caps. There are no rules. There are no, I guess, contract stipulations that don't require a buyout. People can just come and go as they please. And we have, like I said, pure lawlessness. The biggest of which comes from, of course, the University of Tennessee and their former now first-string quarterback, Nico Iamaleava. This story is, to some people, unbelievable. To me, a Tennessee fan, par for the course. This young man was scheduled to make $2.4 million this year. I think he made his $2.4 million on an $8 million 4-year contract to come play football at the University of Tennessee, because that's how out of control NIL is right now. And Tennessee's not even the biggest payer, by the way. You're talking Ohio State. You're talking some of these blue bloods. Michigan just paid a kid $19 million. Bryce Underwood, their quarterback, for the next 4 years. So some guys making more than NFL players by far. But Nico decided after, and this story goes all the way back to December. Tennessee was in the playoff versus Ohio State. Matter of fact, this story goes all the way back to Nico in high school. Nico's advisors, and a lot of these college kids' advisors, are filling them with hot air because they're acting as agents because they can put a suit on and talk nice on a smartphone. Most of these guys couldn't manage a fucking target, and they're put in charge of multi-million dollars for these 18 to 20-year-olds. Nico signs his $8 million deal. He redshirts his first year at Tennessee, plays in the bowl game, has a fantastic performance against Iowa. This year comes out, has a good season for Tennessee, does beat Alabama, does beat Florida, both games at home, has a 19-touchdown, 5-interception year, throws for about 200 or 2,000 yards. Solid season, runs into Ohio State, gets absolutely demolished. Spring ball comes around. Nico's our quarterback. This is great. One day before the spring game, every college plays their spring game. We're great. Nico doesn't show up to practice. No notice. Know what's going on. Rumors start to swirl that Nico's going to hit the transfer portal a couple days after the spring game when the spring transfer portal opens up. Family gets on Twitter, Nico's dad, nah, everybody's lying. These people from On3 Sports, this guy Pete Nakos, lying. He's a bitch. We would never. Y'all need to get your facts straight. Then Nico doesn't show up, obviously, for practice that same day. Good on Josh Heupel, Tennessee's head coach. He says, this guy's gone. So now we have a bigger story. Not just your quarterback didn't show up. Now your quarterback's off the team. And now the rumors start to pour in that he's already looking at hitting the transfer portal. He doesn't play in the spring game. Just like that, Nico Iamaleava hits the transfer portal as of this morning, with rumors swirling and now confirmed that he wanted $4 million a year going forward. And that Tennessee put their foot down and said, no, sir. That's not how this is going to go. So instead of continuing out, making your $2.4 million a year and progressing as a quarterback, giving what you gave, your letter of intent to play for the University of Tennessee, make your money and leave. And trust me, I get the whole players should be getting what coaches get treatment. We're going to talk about it in a second. But this young man decides, I'm going to go test the free market against Tennessee. Hits the free market, and the rumored teams interested are North Carolina, Bill Belichick's program, UCLA, USC, Tulane, all these different schools. Turns out that little by little over the last couple of days, and now today as it's live, Bill Belichick said, no, sir, we're not paying you $4 million to come play over here. Tulane, not a Power 5 program, a very small school in Louisiana, said, we're all good. We can't afford $4 million, bud. Other schools, Lincoln Riley, over at USC, don't think that's going to be for us, man. Finally, he settles, and I say settles for a reason, with UCLA. Now, Nico's a California kid. He comes from Long Beach. Makes sense, wants to stay close to home. But then we start to get reports about why he chose UCLA. And now the story's starting to change a little, Sensei. First off, before we even get into the story of it, what do you think about this whole carousel that's going around with Nico based on the information I've given you? What do you think is the move that's happened here?
Like, what do you mean, the move?
What do you think about this whole thing? Has he made the right decision to leave Tennessee? All this that you know from me.
Maybe, but I just feel like other teams are like, listen, we are not gonna. This NIL thing is new, and like if we say yes to him, it's just gonna open up a can of worms for everyone else to do it. So we're not gonna, even though it might be nice to have him. Like I feel like the owner of the schools are like, no. The GM's like, no, let's not do this, right? Let's not cave, because like this is one of those things where I'm like, not everything gets better with time.
Absolutely,
is this better with players. Is this going to improve the evolution of the game and players? I don't think so, and this is a good example. It's like a good move if it works out, but I don't think
it's a gamble with your son's future, and the people that are making the gamble aren't Nico, I mean, listen, there's reports out there that Nico was missing team meetings, missing events while he was at Tennessee, which is a reflection on his character, but I'm not going to assassinate him for the decisions necessarily to leave Tennessee by himself. Like, yes, he's 20 years old. I consider that a grown man. Yeah. You have to drive the car. It's your car. Get in the driver's seat. Your dad doesn't drive the car. Your dad's family friend member who's your representative doesn't drive the car. If they're the ones doing it, you best believe they're doing it to serve interests that are not just yours but their own. And if that's the case, it's going to be about how much money can we get out of him for the next 6 months or the next year, and not how can we potentially get him to be a 2, 3, 4, 5 year NFL veteran or potentially more, because you have that kind of talent. I believe that. Anyway, so you see Bill Belichick want to know part of it. He's out. Tulane says we're done. Then reports start swirling today as I go through the many replies on my Twitter, because it's what I did all day. We start talking about, first off, Urban Meyer saying that Tennessee screwed themselves by letting Nico walk is the craziest thing. What is there nothing to be said for culture of a team? Is there nothing to be said for putting your foot down and saying that 84 people mean more than just one guy? Urban Meyer saying, yeah, okay. Everybody's saying, nice job, Tennessee, making a stand. I've got a little to comment on that. Tennessee plays Florida usually every year in October. We haven't played Florida in October since like 2001. Urban, you're fucking out of your mind. I don't care that you went 6-0 against Tennessee while you were at Florida. You're fried, buddy. We saw what happened in Jacksonville. That waitress sitting on your lap, we saw it, dude. He said, can you imagine that game's going the other way and Coach Heupel grabs a microphone and stands at the 50-yard line in Neyland Stadium and says, it's okay, I made a stand way back when. Urban, you're cooked, dude. I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't even know what that means. Yeah, the symbolism. No, dude. It's a matter of principle for, like you said, making sure no one knows or everyone knows they're not above this team.
Yeah.
But Urban, yeah, the fact that you were, recruiting actual murderers, I'm sure you didn't give a shit about that, you psychopath.
I was like Urban, dude.
Yeah, freaking.
He's not the one.
Yeah, go down to the latest scandal down in Florida and see if you can find someone. Anyway,
tell him how you feel. Wait.
Yeah, bro. Like, what are you talking about, Urban? Out here, fucking yeah. You made a stand, made a principle. Shut up. Fucking knows nothing about culture these days. Now, the latest on this is from Colin Cowherd, my boss over at The Volume, by the way. He said he was told, this was earlier today, moments ago, that Nico Iamaleava is going to UCLA. After all the hustle and bustle, after all the winds swirled, they're going to go. Then he says family still claims it's not about the money. It's about the at-Vol football offense. I was not told what the Bruins are paying. So this even adds another fun little juicy layer that people that aren't in tune with the Tennessee program and just read the 2-bit headlines about it are looking to latch on to somehow defend this move from Nico. It, to me, is baffling. They say Tennessee is a football program that doesn't develop quarterbacks. It's an offense that's a gimmick. We've played it on NCAA. We know it's a veer and shoot. We know you can run some choice routes out of too wide splits.
Right.
That it causes havoc for a defense based on scheme. But as a quarterback, you still have to read a defense to play in that offense. You still have to deliver the ball with timing down the field. And there's a highlight package, let's say, of Nico not doing that. That I don't know how that's Josh Heupel's fault. But let's just say that that's true, even though it's not. This family is trying to cover their ass for making a terrible decision for their son. And they're saying, oh, it's not about the money, even though they went to Tennessee, and this is the part I left out earlier, during the playoff last year and tried to strong-arm them before the playoff game versus Ohio State to give Nico more money to play in it. That news came out.
In the playoff game itself?
Before the playoff game.
Damn.
That news came out. Then afterward, in the spring, they do it again, but now it's all of a sudden not about the money. He just wants to come home and play in a better offense. Question, you're not going to have the answer because I'm just locked in on this. How many UCLA quarterbacks are in the league thriving right now if it's about offense? Josh Rosen, he thriving right now? Dorian Thompson, he thriving right now? No, they're not.
I can tell you there's none.
UCLA has a first-time coordinator. They're a 36-year-old first-time offensive coordinator. They're going to run the Sark pro-style offense. Do the Eagles run a pro-style offense? Do the Chiefs run a pro-style offense? Do the Panthers, do anybody outside of the Lions run an I formation pro style offense? No. The Ravens, they run in no, they're not. So I'm done with that bullshit. And also, let's just say this really quickly. I'm firing off today.
Talk to him.
Tennessee's system, their quarterback development, they just don't produce great quarterbacks. I'm sorry. The last 2 quarterbacks that Tennessee had under Josh Heupel were Hendon Hooker and Joe Milton. Both of those quarterbacks came from 2 other colleges where they played 2 to 3 years previously. Do you want to know how good Joe Milton was at Michigan? He wasn't. 9 touchdowns, 3 interceptions one year, I think 10 and 5 the next. Transfers to Tennessee, sits behind Hendon Hooker for a couple of years, then comes out and throws 20 touchdowns on 65% completion percentage and 2,500 yards, son. That guy went from undrafted, you're working in whatever sector you got a degree for, to you're the backup right now for the Dallas Cowboys. And sure, that doesn't mean he's an all-star quarterback. But you're talking about a guy that wasn't going to play in the NFL that now has a backup job, and we call him Bazooka Joe. And your Patriots last year saw him in 1 preseason game and went, start that guy over Drake May.
Yeah.
Hendon Hooker. Let's just look, by the way, at Hendon Hooker. Just so I'm not misrepresenting his stats. Because, boy, when you talk about Tennessee quarterbacks, I get fucking fired up. Just so I'm not misrepresenting his stats at the University of Tennessee, because he was just a system quarterback, right? He's not a guy that translates well to the NFL because of Tennessee's system, right?
I've never seen that name in my life. Hendon
Hooker, baby. Here he is in college.
Before? Am I tripping?
Here he is in college. Okay.
Hendon
Hooker. Let's go passing stats. Plays 3 years at Virginia Tech, right? Plays 11 games as a sophomore, 8 games as a junior. Goes for 13 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 9 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 1,500 yards, 1,300 yards. Solid. In a pro-style offense, mind you. I-formation style offense. 61% completion, 65. Shows up at Tennessee to the next year as a transfer graduate. Goes for 31-3, 2,945 yards, and a 68% completion percentage. Excuse me. Next year after that, comes back and tops his completion percentage, goes for 69.6, 27-2. Excuse me, throws for 3,000 yards. Should have been a Heisman hopeful. Is that what we'd call improvement as a quarterback? I know those are just numbers, but is that what we'd call an offensive guru like Josh Heupel helping his quarterback become above average from average? Yeah, it is. Because of those 2 years with Tennessee, he gets drafted by the Lions, and he's the QB2 right now with the Detroit Lions. So don't give me this bullshit about how Tennessee doesn't develop QBs, and Hendon wanted to go back to UCLA to get quarterback development. From who? Of what? He didn't fit in Tennessee's system. They didn't bring in receivers and an O-line like I wanted. I'm sorry, Tennessee just recruited the number 1 offensive line prospect in the country. And here's the other part of it. This is what the cherry on top is for me. No one's going to even watch this segment of the podcast, and I could give a fuck.
Dude, Ray's getting sassy, dude.
They go back to UCLA. Here's the cherry on fucking top. The dad, Nick Iamaleava, named his son Nico. Wow, what a difference. You're a genius. Named his second son, by the way, his youngest son, Madden Iamaleava. And here's where everybody should have seen the fucking plays happening. And I said this in a video on my 3rd channel now, Talking College Football. It has 200 views, bro. I don't care. We're going crazy. The guy named his son Madden. They moved him from a high school during the season, his senior year, to Long Beach Poly to play quarterback. Moved him, transferred him. This is the youngest son. Transferred him mid-season. Finds out he's ineligible. They sit out the whole year. That sound like anything? Now, here you go. Here you go. Wait, I'm not done. Here we go. End of the season comes.
Why was he ineligible, though? I'm confused.
Because he transferred 3 games into the season.
Okay.
You can't do it. They're like, oh, he's just going to play. We're just going to do what we want. Doesn't work that way, pal. But apparently in college it does, because guess what? Madden Iamaleava is a fucking good quarterback, just like his older brother. Very talented. So Papa Iamaleava says, you know what? We're going to keep this one home. We're going to send him to UCLA. He commits to UCLA, and then on signing day, his senior year, flips and goes to Arkansas. He signed with Arkansas this year and flipped on UCLA. No notice, no anything on signing day. So now you're telling me, hold on, you're telling me that the youngest son was too good for UCLA. That you guys didn't want him going there because of whatever. But all of a sudden, UCLA is good enough for the oldest son? UCLA is the right fit for what you're looking for your son's play? But it wasn't good enough for the youngest? And it's not about money, right? It's not about money. That's why you sent him to Arkansas, because it wasn't about money, right? You fucking idiots. You've done it to yourselves. These type of people that can't even fucking lace their shoes trying to run these kids organizationally. They're going to run these kids into the ground is what's going to happen. And it's going to be one of the saddest stories of not just them, but all these kids listening to daddy and mommy that don't have any experience, no offense. Don't have any experience. If I listen to my dad on how to run a YouTube channel, how do you think it would go?
3 strikes in the first 3 videos.
We would have...
First video, second video, third video, you're
I'd be canceled in a heartbeat. It's just not...
those. Adios.
I love my father, and I will never disrespect him, but he is a welder. Do I expect him to know what an NFL or NIL or LLC looks like? No.
Yeah, no, exactly.
The wrong people are involved with these kids, and the NCAA, the bigger problem is the NCAA allowed it, so there's really no going back. But it's just a complete travesty, and I don't know whether to feel good about the fact that Tennessee put their foot down and said, no, we're not going to do this, or to feel bad that we are losing a talented quarterback that really could help us this season, because Tennessee they're better off, like Urban said, morally, but it is going to be an issue to try to get a guy in. Right, we're going to have to go and find another quarterback, and I'm going to tell you right now who I want. I'm going to tell you. Can I tell you who I want? I've been doing my research,
Who we got?
There's a couple guys. I'm going to tell you right now.
We're back to NCAA.
Oh, bro, I'm recruiting right now, dude.
He's been recruiting heavy.
I want a couple of different guys. Number 1 on my list is no, what the fuck? Okay, so there's a couple guys. There's Rocco. There's Rocco, the kid from Iowa State.
When you go back, and it shows that he already signed a commitment.
I know. So okay, hold on. So Rocco Becht from Iowa State. He's going to be a sophomore, I think. Nasty. Threw for 3,000 last year, 25 plus tutties. Cold with it. I wanted Avery Johnson, and I'm going to tell you why. Let me see. Let me see.
That was the former point guard for the Spurs.
Let me see if I can find my man's, dude. He's not gonna come here. Well, actually, I could go to my shit because I replied to it. He's not going to come to Tennessee because he hasn't even entered the transfer portal. Tennessee fans, we're just delusional. We just want who we want, and we don't even know if they're available. So we're just like, yes, give us this guy. But let me see if I can find him really quick. This is from days ago now. Jesus.
I'm like Nico Sr.
Bro, there's oh, God, we should talk about that, but we'll do that another time. Come on. Oh, here he is. Give me my GOAT. Avery Johnson highlights, son. And I'm leaving the sound on. You can cut this out, Brendan. I just need to show it. Dot.
Damn.
Uh-huh. Nope. See ya. Say,
woo!
Off Platty. Zoop. Uh-oh. Sweet feet.
Sweet feet. Daddy long legs.
Daddy long legs on him. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. In the pocket? Go ahead and deliver a long ball, son. Dot. Just oozing swag, son. Ugh.
Woo!
All right. Lost a little aura at the end there, but we'll take it. How's that a highlight? Just dots. Just dotteroni, son. Not gonna lie. He plays like high school Wade.
I know. I said exactly.
That's why I love it. He's a dot machine, dude. Yeah, so I wanted Avery Johnson, but listen, if we get the Iowa State kid, he's nasty too. There's a kid at Baylor that I'm hoping enters the transfer portal, and there's a kid. How about this? There's a kid. I don't want to say his name wrong, but he's the kid that he was at Appalachian State last year.
Okay.
2-time Sun Belt Player of the Year, I think, or at least first team All Sun Belt, and he was the Sun Belt Player of the year before. 3,000 yards a season, monster. Transferred just now this year to UCLA. Give me that kid who's already looking to transfer out because they just brought in Nico. Give me that kid at Tennessee, bro.
Yeah.
A Southern kid that went out there to try to, bro, he's from freaking the South. Give me that kid.
Yeah.
Need it, son. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to be covering it over at what we saying, youtube.com/what we saying. I'm going to be covering it over there, and you guys can keep in the loop. But, okay, last thing here, because we've been going a long time here. Damn, almost 2 hours. We needed to, though. There's a lot we had to get to today.
Yeah, bro. Come on now.
Also, they're saying the Jake Pauler is back. And I will say, when he drops little teasers, the music they play is fire, bro. It's fire. The music switches, I don't know who's doing it, but it's fire. Fire. We did not watch our Paul American episode this week. We'll go back. Tyson Fury's younger brother. I said Will Fury. That's a Chael Sonnen reference. They say it might be Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. I think the announcement might come as early as tomorrow, so we might have to double back and see what's going on there. But there was a clip going around today. I did interview Viddal Riley. Mm-hmm. And in said interview, I was called out, Sensei. I was called out for being an antagonist to one KSI. And let's take a look at the clip and let's see if you agree here. So far above, I just see his name so far above some of the stuff, and people don't think I do because of whatever petty back and forth we have. But what are you smiling about, bro? You told me a long time ago, by the way. You are the oracle of truth, man. You told me a long time ago. You're like, wait, he'd be right about stuff, but sometimes he just need to, not say it.
No, because you be saying stuff, and I'm like, I hear it, I see what you're saying, my bro, but you just an antagonist, man. You're an antagonist, bro. You're an antagonist, bro. Like, you're not wrong.
Right. It's just sometimes it don't need to be said, and I'm like, let me just go ahead and say it.
Yeah, where he's like, you know what? Let me just drop this tweet right now. I know he's upset right now. I know that he's probably just wanting some time to himself. And you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna hot this guy right now. That's what I'm gonna do. And then you know what I'm gonna do after that? I'm gonna make a YouTube video saying, "This is why I said that. This is why." So leave in the comments what you think, bro.
Oh my god, people think I'm some mastermind, bro. I just So yeah, man, he hit me with it, bro. He stuck it on me a little bit there, huh?
Oh man.
I will take it to the grave that I genuinely did not mean that tweet the way it came off. Apparently to everybody but me, but. You know what I'm saying? There's
but I think they're giving you. It's one of those situations when they're giving you more credit,
facts,
than you deserve, which happens to everybody in this situation. It's gonna happen to KSI, Logan, Jake. They're gonna think there's some mastermind or they're doing something when they're not.
Now,
but hey, listen, I gotta say, yes, Viddal can say, "Oh, you shouldn't have said it. He's antagonizing it," but JJ is the ultimate say whatever I want, whenever I want, to any level.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's like, dude, it's got to go both ways. You know what I mean?
Facts,
I know JJ's like that, but listen, it's got to go both ways. If you and he says some stuff to you that he's never said to me, so I'm like,
I know.
If I come from your perspective that he's talking about me like that, it's like, all right, listen. Then when you want to say something, then you can't get mad when I say something.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
It's just I think that the people do think I need a little bit more, which maybe I do based on today's tweet. Now, this was a joke, but saying I had to go for it.
What happened?
I had it. You say check the tweet. I had to go for it. This is not helping. This is not helping the allegations, though.
Yeah, but I mean,
but it's funny, bro. I'm just messing around. People got so tight about this, though. Someone said, better protect yourself. On God, when I see you, something bad's going to happen. Over that tweet,
That's
dude.
what I'm saying. That's crazy.
I was like, please, bro, you can't come across the freaking ocean because it's UK, kids. And by the way, I've got this rivalry with the UK now. Not started by me, but started because I have dared to criticize KSI. And now I'm just leaning into it, bro. If you're one of these city countries across the pond, then you can't say nothing on American sports, dog. Like, I don't want to hear it. This is American sports conversation.
It's like if somebody said that LeBron or Leon should, like, not JJ saying this, but like fans or somebody has said, or like in Mam's situation, right? They had said that Viddal or Leon should be like kissing KSI's feet or whatever.
People do be saying
because
that.
of what that right there. I think maybe Viddal, Leon have a different tone, even if JJ wasn't the one to say it.
Yeah.
Because, you know, and then JJ, you know, it just, that's the people, like, I don't know if they just ignore to see it, but that was a big part of it, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And prime, regardless, whatever, you know what I mean? It's like, dude, people are right to have their own opinions.
Facts.
And it went overboard, bro, with you. It was crazy.
Yeah, bro. But no, it's funny. I am seeing the other side of it that is really funny. And you know what? We're just going to keep going with it and see what happens. Now, granted, I'm not doing this to create any kind of beef. It is just funny to see. It's not even about JJ at this point. It's funny to see like people's reactions to stuff now.
And Wade's like, oh, you're going to ask me to be a natural heel? Sounds good.
I was like, buddy, that's what you want? Okay, dude.
Yeah,
that's what I signed up for, dog. That's what I do. But yeah, I thought that was a little funny interaction today, but man, V clocked it, dude. Last thing I wanted to, this has nothing to do with what we were going to talk about, but they put my sparring partner, shout out my guy Kai, got him some pub on the IFN today because Tristan was sparring him in AZ.
Okay.
You didn't get to meet Kai. Kai came out. You met.
I saw the clips.
My boy Big Ed, but Kai was in the clips. Let's take a look at this because I want to see how how Tristan did. I have a feeling that the spar was a lot like the setup that I had, but maybe not because Tristan's different. He has no headgear on. There you go, Kai. Kai's kind of pissed. He's like, damn, they hit him with a hook.
Okay, Tristan. Okay, I see you.
He's getting way better, bro. Hey, Mike, how's it going? They're in the middle, by the way. It's a residential gym. It's not a boxing gym they're in, so they're just sparring in it's a self-made. Those are like residential gyms. They're high dollar, though, but I did not think they'd have them sparring at the freaking...
I was like, what?
But anyway, shout out to Kai, man. Shout out to Tristan as well. Look at my boy Ben the Bane Davis get it done with BJ.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, because AZ Connect, you know what I'm saying?
He's got that old school head freaking bop, dude, with the hair flying everywhere. I love it.
He does. He does. So, yeah, that's the pod. Is there anything else that I missed that you wanted to talk about today? Anything else?
Anything new from LeBron and Nash?
There actually is, I think.
Let's end with that, dude. Please. There's got to be something.
There's got to be something, dude. The fuck is that? All right, here's the Mind the Game. The recent one, I think they did this was filmed the day LeBron filmed with Pat McAfee. But this just came out, I guess, today. Episode 3.
What the Suns do in today's era?
Yeah, what would the Suns do in today's era? Wayne Gretzky's vision in the hardwood magic. I'm trying to think if there's inspired by the greats. Wait, LeBron names the greats who revolutionized basketball with an assist from Steve. Oh, God, let's hear this.
I don't think that you and I don't think that Mike gets enough credit for revolutionizing the game to where it is today. You know, they always talk about...
This is what I came for.
In the broader context of the game, come on, Bron.
Players. They talk about how transcendent a player can be. You know, Magic and Bird and, Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe and Michael and Steph Curry and all, You're saying yourself.
It's so interesting that he doesn't include himself. It's so weird.
Like now he's trying to be humble. Like what are we doing?
It's so weird because LeBron would be like usually me right away.
Yeah.
That's so odd.
That you and, first of all, your style of play, how you and D'Antoni mirrored so easily to transcend the game. That is the game today.
Yeah.
You guys were before his time, the true essence of before his time.
Well, I think it was right at the right time because the rules were changing too.
So can we just acknowledge LeBron's fit for a second too? What are we doing here, dude? This is how I dress.
I don't know.
This is how I dress, dude. He's got the sweats with the socks over the top. He got the highlighter Nikes. By the way, you would wear these Nikes. This is what wifey would get you.
Give me those right now, dude.
This is what wifey would get you to wear.
I need those.
And then he's got like the running jacket on with the deal. He's got his lower back pad that he always has. I got a lower back pad because
Steve Nash fit. I'm more than Nash fit right
yeah,
now.
this is us, by the way. Except obviously I'm white, but this is us. This is how we would look sitting down in an IRL. I would have the high waters on. You would just be like, whatever. I just woke up and wore this today. Like this is how it would be.
It was right at the right time because the rules were changing too. So you couldn't like have two hands on a guy anymore. You know, when I came in the league, you could like literally hold a guy's hip and chuck him.
The old Derek Harper.
100%. No, like just stuck. I couldn't. I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this?
I don't think that you.
It's not helping your case, Bron.
Yeah. Laughing about it ain't either. You got to
just acknowledge he was allowed to revolutionize the game because of the rules change that made it less physical because now they allowed me to go wherever I want, but I couldn't when I first came into the league. So your dominance or your presence in the game was because of a rule change, not because of your skill set.
Yeah,
not because it wasn't just that, but that's what Steve Nash just said.
Right. It's not a good look there.
Didn't end up him winning, which I'm like, why are we so around this revolution when it didn't result in
It's just an easier way to
dominance?
play. It's not necessarily a winning way of basketball. It's a very, I wouldn't say it's very easy, but it's a very streamlined way of playing basketball.
It's like James Harden. James Harden scored a lot of points, yes, but it never translated to winning.
So did it revolutionize basketball or did it revolutionize, I don't know. It revolutionized basketball, but it didn't revolutionize winning. So how do you...
No, and also like LeBron is like trying to say that Nash, and even Nash is like, well, yes, but also
yes, but
the rules changed, which allowed me to do that and other people.
Yeah.
So if the rules don't change,
you don't play that way. If you don't want to play that way, don't play that way.
That was the clip. That one.
Yeah, that's one of the clips. Here's LeBron, I think, talking about AR.
It's so funny you say that because we say the same shit about AR. We be like, AR, there's no way you learned that in fucking Arkansas. Right. It's like Markeith Moore, as we call him, smooth on the team. It's like, no, fuck that. I'm not believing you from Arkansas. Right. You got to be from New Jersey or whatever. all of that, you got that bop, 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 bop. Like, you didn't learn that shit in Arkansas.
No, but that's the thing.
You know what? I'm tired of the disrespect on the South, dude. I'm tired of it, bro. We got dudes with handles in the South. You had to learn it in Jersey,
Arkansas, which is crazy.
You learn that
you're in the modern era. Everyone learns everything off YouTube, and like you watch basketball, you implement your favorite players. Anyone that's post AI era is doing a crossover, son. Like it has nothing to do with Arkansas.
Yeah, bro. There weren't many. It seems like the same clip over and over here. Dynamic duo of the early. Jesus, 6-minute fucking clip here.
Just get it to start it. Let's see. What are they going to say here?
That's, I mean, Mike.
7 seconds or less offense.
You know, Mike just had a great feel
for
the game, like, especially offensively. I mean, Mike knows defense. He knows basketball. He draws up great plays after timeouts. You know, he knows the game inside and out. But what I loved about Mike is that he was willing to go away from what everyone else was doing.
Oh, for sure.
You know, so when I signed with Phoenix,
this is why I want to watch it.
2004,
for sure.
As a free agent, came back, started playing pickup the guys in September, and I think Mike realized there. You know, it was a team that hadn't won many games. Had some young guys, Sean and Amari.
I can just feel LeBron's going to say something.
Joe Johnson.
I'm waiting for it.
Was developing into a terrific player. And I think he saw us playing pickup basketball. He's like, why would I slow this down and get into sets that are going to make them less effective than opening this up? Let's put Amari at the 5. Let's put Sean at the 4. Let's switch a lot more. We'll find a way to use our quickness to to defend in different ways, and will outscore people. And so I think Mike was brilliant in that, like, he was willing to say, wait, why would I? You know, like, that's almost harder. Like, you can go and find, this is the, you know, ATOs.
Right.
You can look around the world and find whatever you want. But for him to say, like, I'm not going to do what everyone else is doing.
What is on those papers
take
in
that
front of them?
chance and that risk.
What?
LeBron's 2 phones.
I thought those were both of their phones, but now I'm realizing those are both of LeBron's phones. I thought like maybe it was a thing to be like phones down, but now I'm realizing no, yeah, that's
Like
LeBron's
the wine
phone.
glass.
The wine
It's
glass
all
that
LeBron,
Steve is definitely not drinking. I wonder, they have 2 different wines. So I wonder what LeBron's go-to red is.
Bro, I just want to hear what LeBron has
You know,
to
it
say.
definitely brought the best out of me. Going smaller, having a great roller, 2 with Sean, having shooters around, being able to just create space for me to operate, to make plays, make decisions for my teammates. So I think, one, that was a culmination of me developing and continuing to put my foot down as far as
Is that Raza Bell?
like little things like
it might have been
going
nice
into
ball.
that summer. You know, I always wanted to stay with the Mavericks. You know, I think Mark had been burned on a couple deals. I was 30 at that time. I was attacking the basket a little bit kamikaze. You know, didn't maybe have the balance to my game.
LeBron's back pad is goated. That thing goes everywhere with him.
So, you know,
I got one because of LeBron and tried it, and it was mad uncomfortable, dude.
We lost in the
I was like,
playoffs.
what is this doing for him?
They like put a third defender on our side of the court whenever we were playing 2-man game. There was nothing there for me. You know, I always had to go the other side, and they'd play 2-on-1, and that was it. And Rick Adelman was like, I'm happy to let these guys over here play, and in a sense took me out of the series. So I was like, that's not happening again. I'm going to get sharper. I'm going to be better. I'm going to shoot a better percentage. And one of the things that I think helped me a little bit was I played out of my left hand a lot, and I drove.
LeBron's like, I did not need this long an answer.
Left hand, I noticed that. I noticed.
So yeah, that was one of the things I was
That's
going to
why.
say. I was going to say that, and then you just said it first though. But I was going to say it.
No, I use I'm naturally a lefty. You
Actually,
know
if you didn't know, I write with my left hand. I wrote this actual script with my left hand. That is in front of you. I wrote that. I poured your wine.
He's gonna give us one. He's gonna give us one.
And somewhere I was like, I'm gonna clean that up. I'm gonna be able to pull up going both ways, drive the ball both ways. And so I really worked on like some of my deficiencies as an athlete,
for sure.
balance, stability, footwork, quickness in and out of a pull-up, so that now I had more solutions, going left pull, going left runner, floater, going right pull, right floater, finishing both ways. I think it just unlocked a little more. And then Mike saying, we're going to play small. We'll have Amari rolling. We'll have guys running wide. We'll have shooters around. We'll let Steve go to work. And so I think those two kind of things happening at the same time set me up for a lot of success and set our team up.
Yeah, and like a lot of the conversations wasn't really talked about that much about guys doing the 50-40-90 thing. You know, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Reggie did it. You know, once maybe in the 90s.
I think Bird did it.
Yeah, I think Bird did it. I'm not quite sure if Ray had done it yet. Maybe. We can always look that up. I'm not quite sure. But it became
He's
a
talking
thing.
about field goal percentage, 50% from the field, 50% from the field, 40% from 3, and 90 from the line.
LeBron had this like ready to go.
He was ready when he dropped the 50-40-90, dude. Steve didn't mention it, like barely touched it. And then Bron was like, yeah, but the 50-40-90s, let me tell you who people I know that did it. Not me.
You were doing, because it was like, oh shit, every year. Like, once you got into your pocket, it was like 50 from the field, 40 from 3, 90 from the free throw line. And
so then he goes and explains it.
There it is.
There it is.
Everybody was trying to figure out a way how they could fucking obtain that. You know, like everybody's like trying to do that now. Like everyone, not only 50-40-90, but now everyone is playing 4 out. 1 in. You got a guard
Or 5 out.
Or 5 out. You know, and trying to figure out
or 5 out.
Create space. Like, you know, you said in 2004 or 2005, like when you went to Phoenix, you know, we remember fucking San Antonio, 2 bigs. Detroit, 2 bigs. Miami played with 2 bigs. You know, like Sacramento, 2 bigs. Like everybody were playing 2 bigs. And I don't think that you, and I don't think that Mike gets enough credit for revolutionizing the game.
Oh, that was the good one. Yeah, we got back to it. Oh, this is so gold, dude.
Yeah, dude. LeBron's a genius, and you can't tell me otherwise.
Literally Jameis Winston.
I got to look at just the comments really quick to see. 41 minutes, dude. They definitely don't have the chemistry that him and JJ had, you know? They don't have the same chemistry. Well, let's see. Steve's love for soccer. Oh, Jesus. What is this? The D'Antoni up tempo. 2.9. LeBron asked Steve about mastering pull-up threes. Oh, Jesus. I love how Bron became the interviewer and Nash became the interviewee. That is true. LeBron is not... Like, JJ interviewed LeBron, and LeBron's asking him all the questions now. There's so many times, though, that, like, LeBron is going to go back to the same thing. Because this is twice now I've heard about the Steve revolution. This is episode 3, and they've talked twice about Steve revolutionizing the game.
I just saw a comment that said, I wanted to be black. Did Steve Nash say that?
Wait, what?
Scroll down slowly. You're going to see it.
It kind of became lame.
Right.
Wait, I want it to be black, a freeing statement, nothing wrong with the context of what you were trying to do in the game. Too much of the subculture of NBA fandom is taking shots at the idea to try to debase the style, skill, swagger of those players. Change your hair, voice, walk, talk, clothes, all to fit their need to be comfortable with. You're not a lot of, whoa, you are incredible. How the hell did you develop that ability with next to nothing aiding your growth? Love that as well. As getting into the pathology of a thinker of the game that didn't have all the super tools physically and how he adapted it from other sports. Also, the amazing tidbit about his father not demeaning him, but sly challenging him to think of the game and its advantages rather than settle or get stuck on the court. I guess Steve said he wanted to be black.
Dude, all I know...
I wanted to be Savannah James.
To me, the big standout from this is, like, all this revolutionized the game, like, you're doing this, you're doing that.
Yeah.
And Steve literally goes, well, they changed the rules. Like, when I first came into the league, talking about the past game, I couldn't go anywhere. Like, you couldn't have 2 hands on the guys, which was true. You could not have 2 hands. Before, you were allowed to have 2 hands. Now, if you have 2 hands in the perimeter, it is a foul. If 2 hands even make contact. So, all these people are saying, oh, guys, the hand check rule doesn't change anything. You have a guy here now. Said it here first.
Said it. Right in front of you. Right in front of your face. He said it. So yeah, I think that this will continue to give us banger after banger of tidbits from LeBron, just saying things that no one understands but him, but then he explains it so everybody does understand it. So that's going to be amazing. But that's, I think, where we wrap it up today, man. We have a ton to get to next week as the playoffs start. Probably will have a Jake Paul fight announcement by that point. We will have me traveling a lot, so I'll have travel on the road stories, on the Schroed stories. So make sure you guys tune in for that. Today is April 16th. Hope you did your taxes yesterday because Uncle Sam is watching.
Bro, for real.
Dude, he's watching my pockets hard.
I think my wife did it.
Oh, bro. Wifey was on my tail, son. She was freaking not playing around, and I was shaking while holding the phone, awaiting the next text for what was going to happen with the documentation. She was not playing around. I was like, sorry, here's the thing. Pretty sure I sent her a contact, and she contacted him, which is crazy.
Yeah, dude.
She was about it.
Yeah. Wifey, dude, I don't know. Shout out to Wifey.
Shout out to Wifey, because she was like, when I say she did the triple follow-up, she followed up more for that than I follow up for, like, if I got a Ryan Garcia interview, dude. She was about it, son. She followed up more than I followed up for my own taxes. But anyway.
I would be homeless if it wasn't.
Trust. I've seen the houses you wanted to pick for the living situation, dude. Before Wifey intervened. But yes, let's see you guys next week. Today's April 16th. The best day of your life tomorrow will be even better. What happens next in the world of sports? We don't have those answers, but guess we'll find out.
I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground, then I go